hope you had a Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, and now it's time for a Happy New Year. Hello and welcome out to The House That Happens, sponsored by Shuey's Bar and Grill, the only place to be in suburban Etobicoke. Voted 4 times the best dive bar and all the best in the GTA. It's number 1 in our hearts. Rising from the ashes. Hi, I'm Andrew Milani.
Hi, my name's Cruz. How you doing, buddy?
Good. We are back in the chaos once again.
Oh, yes. You know what I mean? And people on the street have been asking me what the chaos is all about. And I said, listen, I haven't got 2 days to tell you about it. That's all it is. I'm starting to, it's okay. Maybe it's like command control of Cruz's chaos.
Sure.
Soon to be musical mayhem. All of the above. How was your holiday, man?
Pretty
How
good.
was Christmas?
Pretty
yes.
good.
Yeah, we had an amazing day, too. We had a really, really good day. It's always fun when you sit around with the family and you just shoot your mouth off with the music going and everybody's drinking after a great meal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's what it is, which gets me immediately, unless you got something quick you want to join in there. I see you got something nice for Christmas on.
Oh, this is an old one.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Looks like what Christmas, and you've taken good care of it. Okay, so we're not going to advertise who it is because we're not going to get in trouble. We might get one of those little veto
Well, we're not
buttons.
getting paid.
Yeah,
that's the most important thing.
But anyways, in the Christmas spirit, I got to have my first shout out to the day. Can I do the first shout out?
Go ahead.
Okay, buddy, you know me and movies. I'm not a big movie guy, all right? But somehow, some way, over the holidays, I got to see Red One, and now I guarantee you will be my new favorite Christmas movie for the rest of my life.
Okay.
That's a gimme over Die Hard.
I was not expecting that at all.
Thank you very much, but I was enthralled. You know what I mean? As a matter of fact, as I was telling you, we came in on one of the screens. I am so intrigued. I had it on one of the screens with I couldn't tell what the dialogue was. And I already caught 2 things I didn't notice in the beginning of the movie to start, which made it adventurous. So I'm a big, The Rock was a perfect role. That insurance guy, what's his name? J.K. whatever?
J.K. Simmons.
He was great as Santa Claus. Lisa, what's her name? Lucy Liu.
Lucy Liu, yeah.
Perfect for her role. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And it's Christmassy, and before the season's over, watch it. But I'll probably, every year I'll be a Christmas thing now.
Okay.
I'll have to watch Red One.
I know you wanted to shout out to someone who just recently passed away, just yesterday, actually, as of the recording of this show.
Very sad. Mr. Greg Gumbel, a fixture in my life, died at 78, unfortunately, of that freaking C thing. I wish we could kick that to the curb. He's been a fixture in my life, buddy. Like, I figure he's a good 10, 12, 13 years older than me. So when I'm getting into sports, when I'm 13 or 14, he was already on the air. And not only was one of the first voices for play-by-play, one of the play-by-people in the NFL, when the NFL was the NFL. Go back.
What is it now, then?
It's the NFL. Okay, that's all I'm saying. In any event, so like he was on those games. Like, I bet you if you go back and you check NFL archives and some of those great games we've seen, Greg Gumbel's on those games. Mm-hmm. But I have to remember him most because I'm a March Madness guy. And he was the voice of March Madness for CBS since, God, my whole life. Mm-hmm. So huge shout out here from The House That Happened. Will be missed. Died too young. Great career. Will remember you ever. Greg Gumbel.
Any more shout outs?
Yeah. You have one?
No, I don't.
Really?
No.
Okay, so I got a quick one here. I want to shout out to Chris Stubbs Waters. His 40th birthday. He's the other brother to my extra son, so to speak. And to that whole crew that had that really cool Christmas party. And once again, that picture, you guys brought tears to my eyes. Once again, that whole gang at the San Fran Christmas party every year. Good thing for them.
All right.
I got one more little shout out. Okay, and you can help me out with this one.
Okay.
But I want to thank Ryan Clark and Aaron Rodgers for having a public pissing match about their positions today, careers, and why they're on the air.
Well, and this goes back, like, it's a personal thing for Ryan Clark. This goes back to the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
The Green Bay-Pittsburgh one. Was it 2011? This is like almost 15 years ago.
Oh, yeah. Like, Aaron said, let it go.
Yeah, he just called him by his numbers. That's what seems to be like. That's the issue.
Okay, so one side it says it's this in numbers, and one side it is, but then people start to get a little personal. You hear personal hints. Nobody was saying, like Ryan Clark, I thought got a little bit more aggressive in his demeanor because I just think Aaron Rodgers' delivery is so much more intellectual. Sorry, Ryan Clark, because I love the guy. Which led me to say, when we're doing a thing like this, what gives us the variance to say what we think in public about others that's going on? You know what I'm saying? Because Ryan Clark is saying, well, this is my job. I've won an Emmy. My job is to talk about the show.
Like hiding behind your awards like that. I think that's such a cop out.
Okay, well, no. Aaron Rodgers kind of threw it at him. He didn't really say it like that. Aaron Rodgers was kind of mocking him about his Emmy, but he was saying, so you're keeping yourself relevant by getting on air because nobody's going to remember your career anyway if you weren't on TV. He goes, I don't have to worry about that. Okay. Basically, that's what he said. So when it gets down to it, to me, like, what's your take? Like, when we take all this in to provide people with our takes on things, what forms our belief in what we're doing? Mm-hmm. Like, what you would say. So I'm going to throw it out there. You're more of an online guy. I'm more of a, what do you call it? Mainline guy?
I don't know, feet on the ground.
Yeah, but I'm saying I'm watching more of the stuff that's on TV where you're doing more stuff on the internet. Okay. You know what I'm saying? The balance. So
I mean, nowadays it's all the same content anyways, though.
That's what I'm saying. So I say you always got to sift through the sand to get that rock. So I'm going to make a declaration at the House That Happens. Here's what we really do, bro. We watch the damn games. So when we know which one of these guys are bullshitting and which ones are not.
Sure.
So I seen that Super Bowl. You seen that Super Bowl. You lost, Ryan. Okay, shit happens. You know what I mean? But didn't he win one later? Yeah. He won one, too.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, in any event, it's fodder for us to talk about. But what made me think is what validates what we're doing. And I'm saying because we got feet on the ground and we're putting our eyes on the screens and not letting analytics destroy my brain. Welcome to the new year, people.
Not yet, but getting there.
Yeah.
We'd also like to give a big shout out to the World Junior Hockey Championships, which kicked off on Boxing Day. Canada had a 4-0 win against Finland, but unfortunately last night, with a big 3-2 loss in the shootout to Latvia, Latvia's first ever win against Canada in the tournament.
I know, that's insane. It's going to have to happen one time. Like everyone's going to, because didn't Latvia beat the Americans one year, I think?
Yeah, pretty recently.
Yeah, so anyways, yeah.
But I was having flashbacks to that 2014 Olympic game against Latvia, whereas this is basically the same situation. They had a goalie standing on his head.
Oh.
Except this game, it was 1-0 for the longest time, and Canada wasn't able to finish the job.
I know, but there's so many chances. And pucks that went through the crease, couple guys fanned on shots, couple goalposts. Goalie was on his head. Let's not.
Well, shout out to the Latvian defense too. There was a few times where they came up clutch to like block a big shot.
Something like that. Yeah. They slid across like that. You know what I noticed about that, and you watching the games, what they're doing to Canada is don't give them the center of the ice. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Keep them on the outside.
Keep them on the outside at all times. But we were breaking in. We had chances, and I was dying. And you know what it is, people? This is why my opinion, because I had my eyes on the game. I've watched a million games. When we went up 2-1, we got them. How much time was left when we got up 2-1?
Oh, like 3 minutes?
Oh, we got them. That's like prevent defense, all that other nonsense.
Oh, Canada kept taking penalties.
That's what killed us too, You know what I mean? And breakdown, and the same guys out there, maybe they were a little bit tired because the same guys would get run out there all the time. There's a variety of reasons. 9 out of 10 times we beat Latvia.
I'd say more. I'd say like 24 out of 25 or whatever, yeah.
Whatever the case may be, I couldn't believe it myself. It did take a little bit of a out of the tournament, but I'm not worried about the team. We're playing solid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're playing solid. I'm sorry about the kid getting hurt, one of our 17-year-olds.
Yeah, so...
what's his prognosis, do you know?
Schaefer out the rest of the tournament, the defenseman.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, boo.
One guy who's impressing me, though, is McKenna, Connor Bedard's cousin there.
Oh, you think?
He's bigger than Bedard.
And he's, that's what I'm saying. And he's projected 2 years, 2025.
Well, he's already leading the WHL in scoring, and he's like 16. So
just turned 17.
Yeah, that tells you it right there.
Okay, it's over.
How impressive this kid is.
Oh, did you see? I noticed him every time he's on the ice. And I noticed that Boink kid back there was Bonk or whatever it is.
Oh, come on. He's a relative of a former Hab.
He's
Radek Bonk's son.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. Anyways, I forgot about that. I wasn't even paying attention. In any event, he's got my attention. A couple other guys with that mechanic.
He's good.
It's going to be, it bodes well for our Canadians in the future. And I'm not down on the team at all. I think that we're still going to win it. I seen the other guys played other worse teams. What, Sweden kicked the shit out of me and you? It was so bad, it was unbelievable. Who did the Americans play? Who's the stiffs the Yanks played? They were horrible. Just horrible. Give us one of those teams for a day.
Well, we're in the same group as the States, so we play the same teams.
That's right. So we'll get there. So we get to get those guys.
Yeah, they played Germany their first game.
Yeah. Yeah, Germany. And what they win? 1,000-1?
10-4.
Yeah. It was just, yeah.
Then the States got Latvia today, but I imagine the States are probably going to wipe the floor with them. Latvia's coming off that high.
Yeah, no kidding.
Like you saw Latvia coming off the ice, they acted like they were winning the gold, which and that's not to put them down. Like, this is a huge game for them. I understand why they're acting like they won the tournament.
Okay, can we put periods on the sentence? And this is why we're on the air to validate the crispness of the crispness of our observation. This was in the nation's capital. Yeah. What does it say in the headlines back home? We beat them in their house, Jimmy. Come on. It's not in Toronto. It's not in Halifax.
Yeah, it's in Ottawa.
It's in Ottawa. So just little things that when you go to another country and see, you know what I'm going to look up? I'm going to look up the Latvian newspapers and see what the headline is.
Just a bunch of bloody Canadian player heads or something.
Will it be in Latvian? What language will it be in? It's got to be in Latvian, I guess. Yes. I won't be able to read it. Somewhere on the internet, they'll interpret it.
Do you have an iPhone or no?
Nah.
No, because I know there's like a translate thing there.
I think there's on mine too, a translator.
Okay,
so I'll check it out. In any event, good luck to the juniors. Anything else you want to say about them?
Shout out to Jay. He's working that tournament. Our producer, Jay, the best in the business.
Jay, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and I'm glad you brought that up. If I had forgot, I would have slapped myself. Jay, it'd be nice to see you for a beer soon, very soon in the new year.
Yeah, when Shoey's opens, well, hopefully before Shoey's opens back up.
Oh yeah,
even.
we'll find an alternate place, even if it's Cruz's Chaos.
We'll go to Fred's.
There you go. We're on our way. Big shout out, Jake.
But I mean, having Canada have like a upsetting loss this early in the tournament, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I'd rather them have this and like having like a little bit of a wake up call than like them just steamrolling through the group stage and getting their asses kicked in the quarterfinals, which has happened before.
Oh, I've seen that. I've seen that story too. No, I think it is too. And you see those guys on. Did you see our team? Did you see the look on our faces? They were stern. Like these guys were not happy. Like they're looking like You know what? Who do they play next?
They play Germany on tomorrow, 7:30.
God.
And then they got the Americans on New Year's Eve, 7:30. Which I'm going to a New Year's Eve party. I imagine that game's going to be on.
Oh, of course, it's going to be. You know what? I feel sorry for the Germans. I do.
They're gonna get our wrath.
Oh yeah, they're gonna see things. You know what I mean? And you know what would be even crazier somehow is how many times Latvia made the playoffs in the juniors. They've only made it like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, it can't be many more than that.
Yeah, I remember they put the stat up. Wouldn't it be nice if they played in Canada? We met them again in the first round of the.
Oh, I'd be down for that.
And then we see what happened, just to remind them.
Yeah.
How we send them home. That's how I'm feeling about the junior team, guys. I'm going to put that one in my back pocket. I won't miss a game.
No. Anything else to add for the World Juniors?
No.
All right, then we'll get this moving to the next, I guess, whatever. Go from semi-professional, I guess, a lot of these guys in junior hockey to, I guess, semi-professional now in college football too, but the college football playoffs.
There you go. And did you see Andrew's tongue going in that last segment? That's pure holiday. He's had a good holiday, haven't you? I could just tell by that diction. I can't wait for the replay on that. In any event, yes, let's get to college football. That was outstanding, outrageous, catalysmic. But first thing I'm going to say again, you know what? I'm going to be a little cocky on this show today. Okay, now if you go back and you go back and see that tape, what did I say about these games before they started? Be careful how you line them up, because later on it's gonna make the tournament look cheesy. Remember I said 5th and 6? Let's look at how it's working out here. And it's true if you've been following the whole saga, because this is basically like a mini series. Sure. Or whatever it is. Reality show, right? It's on TV. In any event, what did you think of the games?
I mean, the only game that really entertains at all was the Friday night one that we already talked about, the Notre Dame Indiana. It was the closest one.
Oh, the rest of them? Oh.
Really disappointing.
Oh, did you see, and then you got the really insane things like, did you see them Tennessee boys running on the field with no shirts on just to show they were badasses? And the guys on Ohio State were going, this is going to be easy. This is going to be easy. You know what I mean? And then the audacity you've seen around the news, because they were talking about who's these guys' fitness trainers, because you see all those boys coming right out the field. There's some big boys. You know what I mean? But look what that did there. But anyways, I think the seeding should have been different. You know what I mean? When you look down,
where you were arguing for just getting rid of any sort of advantage for winning your conference, rank them based on seeding or based on ranking.
That's purely what I'm saying. Like, I'm biting my tongue as I'm saying it, but at the same time, something has to be done, because you get this. You know what I mean? I was afraid. Like I did I have one pick wrong? That all covered by the spread. We picked every game right. And you know what? It was easier than we thought it was going to be. Come on, look about it. Some of the games you couldn't even watch at the end. And there was all the things about that. I don't mind the drama about some teams went north, south went north, and sometimes these north teams are going to have to go south. That'll play itself out over the years. Just
well, that was really only applicable to the Ohio State Tennessee game. We got one.
Anyways, I heard it was blistering cold that night. Like that was a Midwestern cold. And trust me, I grew up in Windsor and Michigan. It's like, they may be Columbus a little farther north. I'm thinking it is. But in any event, that's like here. You know, in those blistering cold days, it's coming off a lake. You know what I mean? Oh, gee, here we go. So it does make a difference. And anyway, my prediction, which I hate to say it, I'm going to stay on that, is what did I say the last time before the playoffs started? I believe that it's going to be a Georgia-Ohio State natty.
Well, it all depends on what happens Wednesday at the Rose Bowl.
I can't even wait. What's the lineup for the games again? Let's go through them really quickly and make some predictions.
So first, let's recap. Ohio State beat Tennessee 42-17. Ohio State went off in the first and third quarters. Yeah. Penn State beat SMU 38-10. Penn State had a 28-0 lead heading into halftime, so they could just
coast.
Just coast in the second half. They really did. And then Texas beat Clemson 38-24. That was the next closest. Texas scored 21 points in the second quarter.
Okay, so let's see how these games played out. Dabo tried to do some Clemson stuff at the end. It's exactly what you said. These guys know it's going to be a long road. If you look at in there, some of those are second, third string guys that were out there in the fourth quarter because their a lot of their frontline guys were on the sidelines. And if you notice when Clemson did score, these guys would come in and tighten it up and got the game over. Penn State was classic. They knew they had these guys' asses kicked. So what did they do? And who? They beat SMU, right?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, so SMU's not quite ready for prime time, but they ain't going away.
No.
I'm predicting they're not going to go away. In any event, I see now look at the next. Okay, we're going to talk about the next game.
And just one more note, all the teams that won had like some sort of killer run that basically propelled them to victory.
Every game.
Yeah.
Just because you know what that says, that we're more dominant than you. And once you get this far down the road, we can do what we want.
Exactly.
You know?
So the spreads for these playoff games, so Penn State
Hold on. Everybody covered the spread, didn't they, in the other games?
Oh, I believe so.
Yeah, everybody covered the spreads.
So going into this week, Penn State has an 11-point lead over, or 11-point, they're 11-point favorites over Boise State. Texas is a 13-point favorite over Arizona State. I think that one should probably be more.
Okay, so here comes my theory. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe they should have been playing the round before.
Yeah. Well, especially them, yeah.
Yeah, and hey, SMU, although they did play in the first round, but go ahead.
Ohio State is a 2.5-point favorite over Oregon at the Rose Bowl. And Georgia is a 2-point favorite over Notre Dame at the Sugar Bowl.
Okay, so my prediction is this. Notre Dame's going to cover. Georgia's going to cover. Ohio State's going to cover. The Penn State one is tricky.
I think Boise State might cover.
They might, because they got the running game. Yeah. So this is what's going to happen. And Penn State runs, so the clock will be running. And all of a sudden in the fourth quarter, it'll be like Penn State will get that extra touchdown and win. What's the spread?
11 points.
That's
a big spread.
Vegas is smarter than me. I remember that. Okay, Vegas is smarter than me. That's someone I wish we had predicted the spreads, which I used to do sometimes. 11 points, eh? I'm a fence sitter here. I'll have to wait till game time to decide on that.
I know. Also to consider too that Penn State, when they play better opponents, they start to choke. And
is Boise State a better opponent?
Well, they're better than what they played last round.
Okay, but still, where are they from? The Big 12?
Boise State?
Yeah.
No, they're not even in the Power 4.
That's right. Or they got the record. Whatever. I got to remember where they're from or whatever they do, and because I can't remember it all the time. I always get them and BYU mixed up. The
Mountain West Conference.
Yeah. In any event, they're the outside 5.
Yeah, they're going to be Pac-12 in a couple years.
Which will probably make that conference a lot stronger and get it back to where it is.
Well, it can't be weaker than a 2-team conference. But.
No, okay, here we go. So, in any event, my point being is, you see now, what happens if Boise State gets stomped on? You know what I mean? Arizona gets stomped on. So you got your big games at the end of the year. The first 4, there was no real drama in any 4 of those games when you really think about it. They made it exciting at the end to keep your eyes on it just in case a miracle could happen. Still, Texas won by how many? Over Clemson, whatever it was. Yeah.
That one, they won by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. Okay, but remember Clemson was scoring in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Keeping the eyes glued on the screen. You know this coach, he's a playoff guy. He knows how to do it. He's twisting things. Is Dabo going to pull it
Well,
out?
this round, I think the games are going to be a lot closer.
I don't think so.
Minus the Arizona State one.
And the Boise one. And, Boise State and Penn State. Penn State's a good football team.
I get that.
Okay, and I'm not a Penn State guy. I'm not an Ohio State guy.
But now they got to stop the best running back in the country.
I think they can. Okay, they played against Michigan running game. They played against Ohio State running game. Now, Ohio State gave them a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, but look, you see the size of Ohio State's line compared to Boise State? I'm just saying I think, okay, I'm going to box that one. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to box that one.
And then you're really not giving Oregon a shot, are you?
What's that?
Oregon.
I think it's going to be a great game, but in fourth quarter, I think that Ohio State puts them away. Oh, yeah, because you know what? We're going to see this. We're going to see power and finesse. Oregon's a bit of a finesse team. Okay, and that coach is good. He schemes well.
Yeah.
But Ohio State comes from the Midwest. They play in the cold. Didn't you see that last week?
Yeah, but this game isn't in the cold. This game's in Pasadena.
Even better for Ohio State. They're going, wow, we're out of the cold. We're out here for a week.
I think that's it. Okay, but both teams play there. So that's...
I'm saying that it's on a neutral ground.
Yeah.
Ohio State should have beat Oregon the first time around. That play at the end, but they didn't. So, okay, but that's how close that game was. And that was in their house, Jimmy.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, we get to play in a neutral field, and you know how hard it is for one team to beat another team twice in 1 year. Oh, sure. Did I tell you how much I hate Ohio State? I just want to keep that out there. Like, look at me.
I know you're sounding like you're liking them right now.
You know what? I'm going to the Robert De Niro School in casino right now. There's no favorite teams in gambling. That's all I'm going to say, because everyone knows what I think about those buck whatever.
Anything else to add?
I think that's going to be the most entertaining game.
It very well should be.
Yeah,
I mean, Georgia Notre Dame should be a good one too.
Oh, Notre Dame's going to show up, but I just don't think they're strong enough. You know what I mean? We'll see what happens. And you know what? If they get run into the ground like those reindeer in Red One and stomps them down the field, I'll like that. I like that a lot.
So the winners of Penn State, Boise State, and Notre Dame, Georgia will meet in the Orange Bowl. And the winners of Ohio State, Oregon, and Texas, Arizona State will meet in the Cotton Bowl. National Championship game, January 20th from Atlanta. And another big bowl game, New Year's Eve. Number 11, Alabama versus Michigan in the ReliaQuest Bowl. Who you got?
I'm taking my boys. Thanks for bringing them up.
Alabama's a 13-point favorite.
What's that?
Alabama's a 13-point favorite.
I'm taking Michigan in the points. It's an easy one. You know what I mean? It's not just tell you like about blue bloods in school. We still get a game. That like because they're named teams. Alabama and Michigan. Put them on in this time slot.
Going to Tampa, baby.
There you go. But you know what I mean? Notice they're still there. Like they could pick any two teams. Like this is an invitational game. Who'd they pick?
Well, I'm sure a lot of these bowl games are also tied to conferences. So I'm sure that's like that to pick an SEC and a Big Ten team.
You're right.
Yeah.
Probably add that to it. You got it. Because last year, you're right. I forgot who played in it. Who missed a tournament. I think it was Ole Miss or one of those teams played in this bowl last year. They had a lot more selection.
Yeah.
But anyways, we'll move it along.
Yeah, well, and also shout out Pop-Tarts Bowl today. Iowa State versus Miami. Yeah. Miami getting a little bit of chance of revenge. Although, could this be a Florida State situation from last year?
Womp, 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 womp. Womp, 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 womp. I don't even want to say his name because he's snooping around the garbage. But Stanley is present, everyone. Oh, he's in a good position right now. I won't say his name again.
All right, we'll move us over to Major League Baseball where there was a few big signings.
Yeah, much to my dismay.
Yeah, but one of them was in your favor. So the Tigers got Gleyber Torres on a one-year deal, $15 million.
I'm not. Yeah, no. That's a one bright thing because it was the Detroit Tigers.
But the Dodgers signed Teoscar Hernandez on a 3-year deal. He got his 3-year deal, $66 million. So that's 22 per. If you can't do the math. One guy that we want Jays to get, I kind of knew we weren't going to get him, unfortunately.
You know what? It's because once you let a guy go, you don't bring him back.
Yeah, it's ego.
Yeah, and we could have gave him more money than that. You know, but he's now 100%. In L.A. He's in L.A. He's just, you know what I mean, just got a World Series ring. He
won the home run derby.
Yeah. They could have a dynasty there. What if they win a couple more in a row? Then he becomes a dynasty. But sometimes I think those whatever. I had a nickname for Shapiro and Aikens the other day.
Shatkins? No.
Yeah, it was something like it had something ridiculous like that. I heard it out having beer. Somebody called him that name, and I was laughing. I'm going, yeah, that suits them.
Dumb and Dumber.
Oh.
And also, Corbin Burns signed a 6-year, $210 million deal with the Diamondbacks. I believe that's their biggest contract in franchise history. And that, considering how much money they were throwing around in the late 90s, that's impressive. Now, he had higher offers from the Blue Jays and Giants, but still decided to go to the desert.
Wow. See, that's just driving me crazy now, because you heard me yapping last couple of shows about the Blue Jays always have their poker in the fire kind of deal. What good is it going to do? You know what I mean? Arizona's going to rise up now. They're going to be a playoff contending team. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because they had that nucleus from 2 years ago, and they were right here at the end.
Yeah, I mean, I thought they'd make the playoffs last year. I guess they had that, like, fall-down hangover season. Yeah,
but they were right there at the end. Remember? Like, they were playing meaningful games in September.
Yeah.
And then by the wheels came off towards the end. Why? They didn't have enough starting pitching.
Oh, and what's his name? The outfielder. He had a little bit of a down year. He won Rookie of the year before.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay.
I'm blanking on his name. He's got the nice hair.
Yeah. I know the dude. Yeah. But that's okay. I'll be a little bit of sophomore slump. He's fine. He's a good player. He didn't have bad numbers last year. He just didn't have. They expected an exponential rise in his production, and it didn't quite happen.
So speaking of hair, Bo Bichette still seems to be on the trade block. Do you think this is actually going to happen, or is this just fodder for us dummies?
Okay. So let's look at it this way. One of the things is we knew that the Jays were in on Corbin Burns. Mm-hmm. Okay, so Corbin Burns is going to look over who's got a better chance of winning the World Series, Arizona or Toronto. Okay,
that's the guys who were there a couple of years ago are guys who haven't won a playoff game yet.
Okay, so looking around, who's on that team? Oh, what? They got Bichette, but they don't know if he's staying. Oh, Vladdy, they haven't signed him yet? Yeah. Oh, well, we got these kids over there, Rookie of the Year, guy that plays third base, one of the best defenses in the league for a pitcher.
Yep.
One of the best defenses. Remember that, people.
Arguably the best second baseman in the game, plays with Arizona.
There you go. So add it up. Look at his number is going to look better for those extra bonuses that he gets in his contract. Yep. You know, you pitch this many innings, we'll buy you a car. Get this many wins, we'll buy you a Lamborghini. You know, all that bullshit. So if you just look at it from that point of view, and I didn't get that opinion from nobody. That's just watching sports all these years and doing the math. You know what I mean? So what that tells me is people are yipping about the Toronto Blue Jays and what we're not doing. And in our discoveries this week, what did we find in baseball? Our position in baseball as a fan base. Can you tell them?
So ESPN put out a top 10 list of the most aggravated fan bases in MLB. The Jays ranked at number 5.
Should have been higher.
We made the playoffs though a lot, which I can see why they didn't put them top 3, top 2, whatever.
Okay, for our listeners, we did agree with number 1, which was the Angels.
Angels, yeah.
Yeah, we're in there. And Chicago White Sox, because you can't lose that many games. You know what I mean? Like, that's just, come on. Baseball's how many years old?
Oh, boy, over 100, well over 150.
I don't know. I'll ask Ken Burns. But in any event, how long it's been on? And they broke records from that many years? Come on.
Insane. Lowest winning percentage, most losses. Do you see the picture going around of the guy? He got the shirt from his wife. It was like saying like all the records that the White Sox got this year.
That's a hardcore.
Yeah.
I like that guy because I had to go through an 0-16 season one time. So when your team down, we'll get that later. When your team's at the bottom, it's a bitch, but you don't bail out.
No.
You don't bail out. Leaf fans.
What do you mean? I was there it was the best last place season of all time, but
there you go. So,
I guess we got lucky. It was the perfect tank there. But anything else to add for baseball?
Nah, we'll just remember, people, the weather is cold outside and the snow is dissipating and Santa's just left town. But we're only 6 weeks till spring training.
Oh, yeah. Let's go to Florida, baby.
Here you go.
Not really, but figuratively. We'll keep it in the icy tundra with the PWHL. Toronto lost 4-3 to Montreal on Wednesday, but they bounced back, breaking their 4-game losing skid to Boston last night at home. They win that one 4-2. Anything you're noticing?
I'm glad that they're winning, but they've really only played. They've only played 5 games, or they played 6. So they actually played the most. Some people have only played 4 or 5. Goal differential's all the same. It's probably a little bit harder to judge anything about it. And then I have to look at that silly schedule they have.
Yeah, I want to go to a Scepters game, but tickets are hard to find.
Really?
Yeah, it's a hot ticket.
That's good to hear. So, I mean, well, yeah, and the games are on TV because I watched the third period the other night. I'm going to get the names of some of the girls, and they play feisty hockey, people.
Oh, yeah.
It's feisty hockey. It's not, you're not watching, they're
Well, I
playing.
mean, if you've been watching the Canadians and the Americans go at it for the last 10 years,
come on,
you should
there
be
you
expecting
go.
something
Yeah,
like this.
yeah.
The Finns are coming up, too, for the women's.
Are they?
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
as a whole entire program, they're not there yet, but they have a few players that are like, they're good.
That's good to see. That's good to hear. We should try to go out to get a game. Maybe we'll put our feelers out there. We got to know somebody somewhere that's going to be able to.
How about Brampton Steelheads?
Oh,
you
yes,
promised me that.
You know what? I'm going to talk to Patrick. If you're listening, Patrick, and everybody, you guys know I forgot. I will get on him.
Patrick, we love you.
Yes,
Get us tickets.
No. Yes, he's one of the crew at the Christmas party.
Hey, there we go.
Okay. I can rate that.
Yeah, so Toronto's still at the bottom, but much puck left to be played.
Very much so. We'll keep our eye on it. Like I said, I hope that the schedule tightens up, and I did look at it, and you're right. There's a stretch in February where it gets a little bit more consistent. I think it's due to
everything else now. It's a busy time.
No, but the Four Nations Cup.
Oh, maybe.
I think there's a little space in there where they're
Okay.
going to be a little bit more consistent. But look what they're competing against.
Yeah, well,
There you go.
Yeah,
Hey,
find a way.
we're paying attention to you, girls. We're paying attention.
love you, ladies. Let's go. We'll move this over to our soccer report, where let's start in the Premier League. Manchester City once again could not finish the job. They had an early goal against Everton at home, but Everton gets the tying goal, and Manchester City cannot convert on a late penalty to get the win. They end up with a 1-1 draw.
What's wrong with my boys?
Haaland? Your boy Haaland missed the penalty too.
I know. I seen that, and he was none too happy. You know, he was honorable mention in one of our candidates of the year, even though I like him. No, there's something, and then, you know what? They're not playing bad. They're just not scoring.
They're not finishing games.
Yeah. It's been there. But big shout out to Matty Curran and your Liverpool. They wanted me to make sure I said that on the air.
Liverpool gets past an early goal against. They dominate for a 3-1 win versus Leicester City. Leicester City, a far cry from that championship season they had. That was almost 10 years ago now, I guess. And now it looks like they might get relegated. Nottingham Forest.
In 10 years, from champions to relegated.
Well, the economics of Premier League compared to the lower leagues are
insane.
So I'm guessing the prize money kind of kept them afloat, but reality bites.
Yes.
Nottingham Forest, the home of Robin Hood, got the 1-0 win versus Tottenham despite only 29% possession.
Wow.
Chelsea blew an early 1-0 lead, fell to Fulham with the 82nd and 95th goals against to lose at Stamford Bridge. That was a big loss. Manchester United fell 2-0 at Wolverhampton. And Arsenal gets past Ipswich Town with a 1-0 victory.
I'm going to be jumping on the Arsenal bandwagon soon.
Oh, my God. What soccer team haven't you jumped on their bandwagon?
That's the only two. And Barcelona. I like Barcelona.
Juventus of Turin.
And that's every league. You got to pick somebody from every league, don't you? So I've been trying.
Well, for England, you've had like 3 teams that you've like leapt up and down for.
Yeah, because Man City's been like, wow, guys.
Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool. You've given each of those teams their flowers.
Okay, I have, but
Aston Villa, you were in love with them for a hot second.
Oh yeah, I like.
It was a nice little affair weekend that you had.
Yeah, one of those situations. I thought they look good in the highlights.
But looking at the table, Liverpool still sitting up atop the table with 42 points, and they have a game in hand on their competition. Arsenal in second place right now with 36, Chelsea in third with 35, Nottingham Forest in fourth with 34. Those are all the Champions League spots, and Newcastle United taking over fifth place with Manchester City slipping to seventh.
I see that. You know what? If I was a real bandwagoner, I should have went with my heart because I'm such a Robin Hood guy. But I always thought when I looked, I said, "No."
You're like, who are these guys?
Yeah, exactly. So no. And now look at them. You know what I mean? They could be one of the surprise teams of the year, right?
Oh, absolutely. If they hang on.
If they hang on, yeah, that's what I'm hearing. Because,
but we're basically halfway through now, so still a lot of football left to be. A lot of footy.
Yes.
We'll move it over to Serie A, where it's actually a big weekend. We have Juventus, Fiorentina, and Milan Roma this weekend. They didn't have any games since our last show. But Atalanta still in first place. Napoli, Inter, Lazio, and the Champions League spots. And then Fiorentina, Juventus, Bologna, AC Milan round out the top 8.
I got you. Now, what did you call this league?
Serie A.
Oh. That's Italian, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, how come?
Like series without the S and then A.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I had it here, and I had the table in front of me, and I go, what did you call it? Doesn't say that here.
All the other leagues are off. La Liga, they have one game on January 3rd, but the rest of the league comes back January 10th. Bundesliga, they're back January 10th, and then Ligue 1 is off until January 3rd. But let's not forget we have the Super Copas for Italy and Spain and Saudi Arabia just around the corner. So
there you go. Saudi Arabia, man, they get those events.
Gotta love Saudi Arabia. The first time they're doing a 4-team knockout domestic cup, not in the domestic country, should be a lot of fun.
It should be a lot of money. Should be a lot of money. Come on.
No, it will be a lot of money.
Yeah, okay, it will be a lot of money. That's the name of a song. You know what I mean? It will be a lot of money.
Yep. And let me just check on when Champions League comes back. It's back January 21st, so we're still a few weeks away, but then January 21st, 22nd, and then they're back the next week, January 29th. All 36 teams will play that day. So basically back-to-back weeks to determine who goes on to the knockout round.
And you know what's good? Now that I know where some of the big games are, I can find them on the box. They're on, they're cool times, 2 in the afternoon.
Oh, yeah, because that's prime time in Europe.
It's prime time, yeah. So I'm thinking, right after the dog walk, kick up my feet, put a screen on, and educate myself.
I love Champions League.
Yeah,
I wish it wasn't on midweek so I could watch more of it.
Yeah, and it's middle of the week days, like Tuesday,
Wednesday usually,
yeah. That's
the only game that's on a weekend is the finals, always on a Sunday, but that's it.
I'll be watching.
Yeah. We'll move us over to the NBA, where we had our Christmas Day games, but we will have our first edition of the House That Happens NBA Power Rankings.
Oh,
Cruz,
yes.
you ready, or you want me to get started?
Yeah, get me started because my secretary's not here. No, I can. I'm ready. I'm prepared for this.
The secretary just popped in through the door. Look at that.
I didn't win the lottery, but I did ask Santa for a personal assistant. I must have been naughty. Watch Red 1. If you're naughty, shit happens, okay? In any event, I had an honorable mention just because I like these guys so much and they're hanging in there, but, they're not quite there. But the Houston Rockets got to get some love. Okay, so they're not my top 5.
Wow, they were not on your top 5.
They're not in my top 5. They're not in my top 5. But you know how much I believe in last year. I'm a bandwagoner of the.
Even though you didn't pick Udoka for Coach of the Year.
No, I didn't. I made that mistake.
Maybe that's why you're on the naughty list. Udoka's
he's on the good list.
Yeah.
He's on the nice list.
He's back on the nice list.
There you go. In any event, does that mean Doc Rivers is on the nice list too?
I guess so.
That's another story. Okay, number 5 on my thing is the race baiters' favorite team, the New York Knicks. Okay? Number 4, with my boy, probably my favorite guy in the NBA right now, John Morant, Memphis Grizzlies. Number 3, from that place we were just talking about on the lake that gets really close, the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, I'm just being a bitch about this, to be honest with you, because I don't want to start the season putting them at number 1, so I won't. But that team from Beantown on New England coast, not far from Providence, Rhode Island. Do I have to say the name?
The Boston Celtics.
Oh, yeah, those guys. Okay, they're at number 2. And my number 1 team, led by a really, truly fine Canadian, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Alexander should know that's my middle name. OKC is my number 1 team.
So our power rankings are actually very similar.
Really?
Yes. So my number 5 was the New York Knicks.
Okay.
My number 4 was the Houston Rockets.
Wow.
Number 3, the Boston Celtics.
Okay.
Number 2, Cleveland. And number 1, OKC.
That's still a solid list. You didn't have Memphis in, you had Houston instead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying down the run because earlier in the season, and it's starting to come to fruition if you look at the standings right now. We were talking about these teams and getting all their players back. Eby was back in the lineup for Memphis against Toronto. Mm-hmm. That wasn't even a fair game. That wasn't even a fair fight. That was just like, oh, my God.
Well, it led to Darko having a meltdown.
You know what, though? When we've discussed this on the show, and it's the disparity in some of the calls and decisions by the referees are ridiculous. You know what I mean? Nobody defended Drago going on to the floor, but a lot of the pundits were very quietly saying, I think the guy's right. But they got the people in the Adam Silver thing saying, hey, you guys, chill on this. Probably Barkley's the only one that can really rip it off, or those guys saying it, and even they will do it.
Well, I think even them will get notes like, hey, guys, cut it up. But I think they're just like, we don't give a fuck.
Because it's Toronto.
No, I'm saying like Barkley like doesn't care about like being censored or whatever.
And that'll regret. He will, because I know he barked up a bit. But I mean, that's one of the things that's driving me nuts about the NBA this year and all that shit I've always talked about.
Well, it's not just a this year thing. Let's be real. This has been the NBA like since Jesus was a baby.
Okay,
you know?
so now, but sometimes it's getting so glaring now because you're getting bad games. Same guys get same calls. Guys get rep calls. Kids don't get nothing, and it affects the flow of the game, so to speak. However, I will say this, and I think I texted you during the game, didn't I? I might have sent you a text you during the game. As much as I've been bashing the NBA, every once in a while they get it right. Now, all the games on Christmas, I didn't see all of them. But
I didn't really see any of them, but they were all close games.
Yeah, okay, and
although Dallas was kind of like. Once Luka got injured, it was kind of dumb, but they kind of made a game of it at the end, but it was a little too late.
No, it was like Clemson against Texas. That's all that was. But the game of the day, and it started at noon, was that
San Antonio
Knicks game was a game for the ages.
The Disney Donald Duck Mickey Mouse game.
Oh, yeah.
Do you see those highlights?
Oh, yeah, it was crazy.
They had like a fake dunk contest, too. That was funny.
Yeah, but I mean, now you got, there's Wembanyama. See his numbers?
Yeah.
His numbers
42 points, 18 rebounds, 4 blocks in that one.
Yes, and I think he had so many assists, too. He didn't get a triple-double. But
4 assists.
Yeah, and he had 4 assists, too. But his presence on the floor was unbelievable. But it was one of those games in New York, and San Antonio was getting so close. I was kind of cheering for San Antonio, really. And it was just one of those old kind of New York thing where, what's his name? One of the Villanova boys got hot. He was shooting from everywhere. I couldn't believe it. It was like they just kept giving him the ball.
Bridges?
Yeah, Mikal Bridges. That guy went off. I think he scored, 15 of their last 21?
Well, he's put up 41 in that game.
Oh, yeah, but he scored 15 or 20 of the last 21 points.
Yeah,
he was on
17 of 25 from the field, 6 of 9 from 3.
Yeah, he was on fire in the fourth quarter. And at one point, with about 6 minutes left, Wembanyama and the boys were up by 5.
Yeah.
It was crazy. And you know what it was, too, though? And then I guess because you're young and stuff, the momentum of a crowd. And you know, New York City, Christmas Day, Madison Square Garden, New York Knicks, added all up. And when the Knicks started going and Bridges got hot, it felt old school for me. You know what I mean? Like being down in New England watching these games and shit like that.
Yeah, so I guess the Knicks are the traditional like 12 o'clock game on Christmas then, right?
Sometimes those morons from the West, from the other, no, not them, but I shouldn't say morons, but that other Beantown team down the street. But usually it's
Boston's usually like the second or third game though, isn't it?
Or sometimes I like it when the Knicks play the Celtics on.
Yeah.
They don't do that enough because you got to spread it out because it's the marquee names.
Yeah, exactly.
But look at how many, just look at it this way though. Did OKC play on Christmas Day?
They did not.
Okay. Did Ant-Man's first time on
OKC's got to get into it next year, though.
Okay, so let's take a look around the league again. Who am I missing? Ant-Man didn't make it on there. Wemba obviously is going to be pushed out. Ja was not on Christmas Day.
Giannis didn't get on Christmas Day this year.
Giannis did not because of Milwaukee. Okay, go around the league now, and you got to say, when you look at what's happening here, the marketing of the NBA, because look at the Lakers and the Golden State game was a good basketball game. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Even if it was late at night, I was like a little bit, it was in the background.
Well, it wasn't even the last one.
Second last one, yeah. In any event, and the last one was the Clippers, right?
No, Nuggets, Suns. Clippers didn't get in this year either.
Yeah, Nuggets, yeah. So, yeah, that team didn't get it with their stars. You know what I mean? So, when you keep looking at it around, like, what is the NBA trying to do? There should be a transition. If your rankings are down, wouldn't you want to be promoting some of these guys?
Mind you, the ratings were up this year for Christmas. I believe it was their highest ratings in 5 years.
Yes, yeah. So something, good happened because the games were good. Like that first game, if you were watching any basketball again, you riveted. Like I had it on the side because I guess football was going on and whatever. And I was supposed to go out and I had the PVR on. I couldn't leave the Knick game. It was that good. And I've been bashing the league.
Sure.
All season long. So let's look what's going on in the NBA so I can continue my bashing. How about that? We'll just jump to the point.
So the Kings fired Mike Brown yesterday.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh, it came out, eh? The rumor was hot.
I know there's some people, and he got fired over text apparently too.
What?
And the Nuggets head coach
Malone
said, that they do have no class for firing over the phone.
That's just totally classless on any level. But you know what? Sacramento is becoming the ultimate underachiever.
That's kind of been their MO my entire basketball watching life, though.
And, and they're in so many games. You know what I mean? Like,
is Sacramento back to being the biggest joke in the league?
No, I wouldn't say that. Look, if you look at them, they still have a plus scoring differential.
Okay, maybe not the biggest joke in the league because I don't know Washington's been.
They're 13-7, but they've lost their last 4. And what is it? The last?
Well, 13 and 18.
Yeah, 13 and.
They lost their last 5 games.
Yeah,
yeah,
and they're in trouble. And they got players. They just they took DeRozan. They got
De'Aaron Fox.
De'Aaron Fox. Well, maybe one of my top 5 players in the league.
Sabonis, Keegan Murray.
Yes, they got there. They just can't seem to get over the hump. Now, if you look at them, and which we'll do in our next thing because we don't take too much time on it, but by the time we get around, because they've only played how many games right now? When they get to the 30-game point, we'll just saying which teams.
Well, they are at the 30-game point.
Are they?
Yep.
About 30?
Okay, well, all the teams have played at least 30, it looks like. Except for, like, there's a couple teams at 29, but that's it.
Okay, we'll wait to 40, and then we'll do it like we did in the NHL. Which teams are not going to win the NBA championship?
I can give you a good list right now.
Oh, you can knock them out by the second.
Basically, anyone that's not top 5 in the East, knock them off that list. And in the West, like...
Oh, that's a whole new ball game because I'm scared. Because look right now. Oh, no. Oh, yeah.
Actually, even in the East, like... Besides Boston, is there any team in the East that you really think is going to win it?
Cleveland. And what about if Milwaukee
Maybe
stays there? But ever since
but like I don't really believe in the Knicks too much. I don't really believe in the Magic aren't there yet.
No, and they've had the injury issue, so they're not going to be there. No. Wait about the Knicks. The Knicks are a team that could beat you in a 7-game series because they play serious defense.
Are they going to beat the Celtics in a 7-game series, though?
If they can shoot, if they season percentages, because you know what? They guard the perimeter well. They got Mikal Bridges and they got Anunoby. So they got a team like that. Whoever designed the New York Knicks were smart because now they've got Karl Anthony in the middle so he can get over Porzingis and he can spread the floor because he can shoot the 3. So what do you need? Like Anunoby going at Jason Tatum would be a fun thing all night. Mikal Bridges going after Jaylen Brown all night would be a fun thing. It's the depth of the bench that Boston's going to have that'll kill you. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then when they get hot shooting the goddamn threes, the Knicks do not shoot the 3
And Karl Anthony, when he goes inside, he doesn't.
Yeah, he throws it back out. One of my favorite things about the NBA. Let's drive down the lane.
Celtics in 6 if they play.
If they drive down the lane, they're going up in the basket, and they fire it all the way back to the 3-point line so that guy can go clang, clang. Just makes me crazy, bro. Like, I mean, it could be blocked. Could do some shit, but you know what I like about our Toronto Raptors, even when we're not winning, because we got to give the Raptors a minute here. We got guys that go. We go at the net. Drago's old school. If we're not clanging, if we're not going threes, what do we got? Scotty Barnes going at it. We got RJ Barrett going at it. We got that Mitchell kid going at it. The Snead kid off the bench. The kid from the college kid I was telling you about. They all go in. Notice that? Even our Razor, nice hair, Graydon Dick. Great marketing guy for the Toronto Raptors.
Sure.
He drives. You know what I mean? We're not afraid to drive. So we're in a couple years away from anything, okay? And we haven't even got Lively here, and Lively knows how to drive. So look at the team that we're building. We're Houston right now without a Fred VanVleet.
Yeah. It's not looking good for Toronto. 9 losses in a row right now.
No, we're dying, and we still have not played our lineup, like our starting five for the whole season. So... Anyways, let's run around the league really quickly. The reason I'm giving Cleveland chances, though, look at them. They're holding on right now. They're 27-4. Celtics are 23-8. Now you know what those 4-game losses is. I put that down to the fact that every time you play the Boston Celtics, you're playing the championship. So more people are taking a run at them. So sometimes you get away with it. It's just Cleveland. And Cleveland will bushwhack you. You know what I'm saying with that team? Because they're a serious team. Look at their lineup. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Sure. And Donovan Mitchell, he's a dog. You know what I mean? And you got Garland with them, the 2 big men in the middle. And they've got a little bit of depth. So I'm not calling it off. Now, if Boston plays Cleveland in the conference finals, I'm not going to be stupid because I already said at the beginning of the year that I do believe that the Celtics can repeat. They're that good. You know what I mean? And sometimes they've gotten beaten a couple times. They just took the last 3 minutes off. Like, you know what I mean? Okay, guy sunk a shot. Let's go home. You know what I mean? And look, and their record, by the way, is 23-8. Come on. They're serious. I do think that the Knicks will be in there. I'm feeling bad for Orlando because they just can't seem to get all of their guys back together, but they're still in the hunt. They're not going to go anywhere. My question is, what's going to go on with the Miami Heat?
They're hanging around to that number 6
Okay,
seed.
but what about all the rumors about Jimmy Butler?
Well, they already said they're not going to trade him.
Okay.
So you think they're going to trade him?
I don't know. Pat Riley's a man of his word, so you gotta respect that.
Yeah.
If Riley says that, but you know what? Pat Riley is the first guy that'll tell you, hey, if somebody drops something into your lap, you can't say no to.
Well, I know Phoenix was kind of circling the wagons on him. They were trying to do a Bradley Beal for a Butler trade.
Yeah, I heard that.
And they're trying to trade Nurkic too, I believe.
That would have had to be in the package, I believe.
Yeah.
And you know what? I wouldn't trade Nurkic.
I'd be weary of it.
Yeah, because he's that glue guy in the middle. But they do have Grayson Allen.
Mm-hmm.
And he's one of those kind of dog players. But I think that's what.
No, you still need a big man that can do those things, though, too, I would say.
Yeah, so I wouldn't want to get him out of there. So that's probably a lot of the reason it was Knicks too. But the fact that nucleus, where is Phoenix right now? Well, we'll get to them in a second.
They
The East.
Yeah.
Are the Philadelphia 76ers going to rise up to get there?
I think they're going to make it into the play-in. Can they make it into the top 6, though, is the question. Because they have been climbing their way out.
Oh, they certainly have. You know what I mean?
Everyone above them, well, I mean, those next few teams, the Chicagos, the Detroits, apologies, their Cruz, Indiana, Atlanta, they're not that good.
Okay.
Maybe Atlanta is a step above those teams, but the Indiana, Detroit, Chicago, I don't think are going to scare many people.
Oh, I think they should start. The Detroit Pistons should start. Look at their lineup. Cade Cunningham is there's another guy that's out there that's just below the superstar level.
I think they're still a year away, though, from...
Agreed,
yeah.
but they're nobody to sleep on. You know what I'm saying? And they're hanging in there, and they weren't supposed to be there.
No.
You know what I mean? Look at their season last year.
And they got off to a pretty rough start, too, and they
there
bounced
you
back.
go. 5-5 in their last 10, but look at they're already in the play-in. If the Pistons make the play-in, that's a huge success for their season.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? So, and I think they can hang on, because who's going to knock them out? Washington, Toronto, no. Charlotte, no.
No,
they haven't got a chance. So now it's up to Brooklyn.
It's Brooklyn and Philly.
And Brooklyn is just, but is Chicago good enough? It's not going to matter because out of that play-in, all those guys are going to get their asses kicked in the first round.
Yeah, just put them in the washing machine or whatever.
I think the Indiana Pacers are the most disappointing team in the league, but everybody just learned how to defend them on the perimeter, and since they don't play no defense, can only score. Oh, look at Indiana. They're having trouble they got to tighten up or they're going to be in the play-in. I don't know what to think of Atlanta except for the fact that I hate Trae Young.
They're playing really well this season, though. The best they've played in a few years.
Okay, so maybe the team, but they're only 6-4. They got a couple young guys. We'll get a little more deeper into it as we get to our mid-season report on all these idiots.
On to the West?
On to the West, really quickly. OKC and our boys, we know they're the leaders.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Odds-on favor to
go to the final.
Go to the final right now, even though there's a lot of competition here.
But they put some distance between themselves and the pack.
100%. You know what? Ultimately, I'd like to see, and it would be sad on either way. If ultimately be sad, I would like to see a Memphis OKC conference finals. How would the NBA deal with that? Okay, Oklahoma.
They wouldn't be happy.
But the entertainment value might be the highest would be. So
yeah.
So when the eyeballs are bringing, what if you got a Game 7 Memphis OKC? You don't think you get mad ratings? You got Ja, you got Shea.
No.
Really?
Just because they're small market.
Boo.
I agree. I that is kind of sad.
How do you think the next step then? Those guys are superstars.
Well, you got to build from that, right? Like if it ends up being a good series, then next time people are going to be like, oh, okay, maybe we should keep an eye on those teams. That's how it goes.
Okay, but I'm going to look at it this way. They beat the good teams coming down. They beat the LAs. They beat the Denvers. They beat the Phoenixes.
I get that, but those fan bases aren't exactly to be like, oh, let's watch the team that kicked their asses. Like,
well, I don't know. I think that you know what? I got no horse in this race whatsoever. Yeah. But I mean, I'm a fan of the game, and I want to be highly entertained. Right now, if you ask me, the most entertaining series I could possibly think of in the playoffs would be Memphis and OKC. That would be a mad.
More than Cleveland, Boston.
Because we've already discussed that situation, so we might be thinking of the outcome.
Okay.
I don't know what the outcome would be with them because you got to remember this. Memphis got off to that pretty bad start because everybody and anybody was injured.
Yeah.
Now they're back on a consistent basis, and the last time I checked, the Memphis Grizzlies are 20-10. They're 7-3.
8-2 in their last 10.
Yeah, 8-2. Yeah, because they won last night. Yeah, so they're 8-2 in their last 10. You see what they did to Toronto. That wasn't fair, right? So, and if you look at all these other teams around, they all got issues. Now that Dallas is going to have Luke out for, what, a month?
Yeah, a month.
Okay, so they're going to still win games.
Not as many.
I can't figure out Denver. You know what I mean? I just can't figure those guys out. Even though 6-4, lost one. The thing is about it is you got to, you know me, I'm big on your plus minus, which gets us to the Los Angeles Lakers, who's had a little bit of a run lately that make things look decent at 5-5.
5-5, yeah.
So out of that crew, who comes along? Minnesota, second most disappointing team in the league.
I guess.
After Indiana, did they go further in the playoffs? Minnesota tells you, we go, what about chemistry? And look what's happening. The chemistry, Katz turned out to be a New York Knicks kind of guy. Julius Randle does Julius Randle things.
Yeah. Well, and also moving to like the Clippers, they are hanging on to 5th in the West, and Kawhi's coming back.
Oh, yeah. No, I think that they're going to be better. I think they're going to be better, too. And I think that this is crafty because we know the condition of Kawhi's knee. So now it looks like he only's going to have to play about, 50, 60 games. You know what I mean? And he'll play the next 20 to get himself in game shape. And then he'll do Kawhi things, and suddenly there'll be a threat. And you know what? That's one that you got to worry about with the kids. Because, you get to like a semifinals in the conference, and then all of a sudden you got Harden, Norm Powell.
Oh, sure.
Kawhi.
Guys that have been there, done that.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And they're going to be down there, and they play a modicum of defense. That's the type of team that could slip in. So I'm keeping my eye on the Clippers for sure. That's because I like Kawhi so much still, too, though. You know what I mean?
Also, Golden State knocked out of a wild card or a play-in spot for now. They're 11th in the West. San Antonio sitting in 9th in the West as we speak.
Well, you know how it is when you're Golden State. It's sometimes like the Cinderella. Is this what's happening? Or were they Cinderella?
The clock struck midnight.
The clock struck midnight. Shit happened.
It was a little early for midnight, but
I still think they're going to be struggling, but their name is in on every big name player. His name comes up. They go, oh, he's going to Golden State. Oh, he's going to Golden State. What they need is a more defined or someone to help out Draymond. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because the kids aren't quite prime time yet. So do you think they're going to make it?
I would bet no at this point.
Really?
Because I remember we said like at the beginning of the year, like Wembanyama, I think as the season improves, he could be one of the best players in the league, and he's showing that.
Oh, he's on my fantasy team.
It's mid-year. It's midway through the season. He's already, like, you can argue he's a top 5 player in the league right now.
I wouldn't say top 5. Top 10 for sure.
Okay.
Top 10 for sure. Top 10. I wouldn't say he's top 5, but top 10 for sure.
But with him, a top 10 player with that supporting cast, yeah, they can make the play-in.
Probably they could. I just think that you know what it is about these teams, and I hate to rag on it, is that sometimes in the coaching or is it the guys on the floor, they get excited. Like Wimba can play in that paint. No problem. Look at the size of the guy. Sometimes in the game against the Knicks, if you go back in the last 5 minutes when they were up by 5, when San Antonio was up by 5, and this will be a learning experience because the guy's only 20 years old.
Sure.
He came down the floor, and guess what? Milani, guess what he did?
He went to the exterior.
What do you think? Oh, I was checking that little thing, they call the shot clock.
Oh, he put up one early?
Oh, I think of 1918.
Oh, jeez.
Because, look, he takes long gates, but it takes him, 2 or 3 seconds to get up the floor?
Yeah.
So I think it was about 1918. He clangs one from. Now, he did make a couple big ones earlier, but this wasn't in rhythm. He just come up and fired it away. You know what I mean? Which I get, these young guys get excited, but you're up by 5, Madison Square Garden, 5 minutes left on Christmas Day. You're playing solid defense. You just gave him an extra possession.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And a couple other guys tried their shit too on the way down. Next thing you know, the Knicks came back and Mikhail Bridges got and you know the rest. Story's over. You know what
Anything else for NBA?
Nah, we'll be back to you, and I'll be bashing it. I'm trying to be good. I'm looking for great games. That's all I'm saying.
We'll move this over to the league that they share most of their arenas with, the NHL, where we have our addition to the power rankings. And Cruz, I went nuts. I did a top 10 this week instead of a top 5.
Okay, I'll bet you I can do you should have said that because we're about to do a top 10. I could have done a top 10 too. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to give you my honorable mentions.
Okay.
You got 10, and I'll just give you the guys that I'm saying that are going to be here right now. Oh, God. Where's my personal secretary? Hey, wait a second here. You know what it is? I write in too many books at too many times. Okay, here we go. Number 5 on the Cruz's Chaos Power Rankings for the NHL.
Oh, no honorable mentions?
Okay, honorable mentions, Dallas Stars, New Jersey Devils.
Oh, Dallas wasn't even in my top 10.
Whoa! What am I watching? OHL? Dallas not in your top. Oh,
They haven't been that good lately.
Okay, we're gonna have a chat.
Where are they in the standings?
Okay, they're having a little bit of a rough time right now. I still see plus 20 something goal differential.
How about their last 10? How have they been?
They're about they've been better. They've been okay, so we'll get to that. They're 500. So what? Anyways, there's still honorable mention for me. We'll get to that. I can't wait to hear your top 10. So who did I say? Jersey,
Dallas,
Jersey, Dallas. I missed somebody, didn't I say? Jersey, Dallas, Minnesota, and LA.
Okay,
because that'll get me close. But now my number 5, the Edmonton Oilers.
Okay.
Number 4, your Toronto Maple Leafs. Number 3, I vacuenced and said the Winnipeg Jets. Number 2, I'm saying the Florida Panthers, and number 1 in their hearts, the Vegas Knights.
Okay. No Washington.
Well, they would have been number 10. See, I only gave you 5, right? Because, I didn't.
Oh, my God.
You just gave me honorable mention. Next week, we'll do a top 10.
Number 10.
Top 10.
Number 10, the Colorado Avalanche.
Oh, they would have been in their honorable mention.
Convenient that you bring that up now.
I will bring a top 10 next week.
Number 9, the Minnesota Wild. Number 8, I have the Edmonton Oilers, who are peeking their heads up. Number 7, I have the Florida Panthers. Number 6, I have Toronto. Number 5, New Jersey. Number 4, LA. Number 3, Winnipeg. Number 2, Washington. And number 1, Vegas.
You're killing me with the Washington thing. I've seen them play lately. Want to predict it? You know what? They want to be.
They won. Didn't they win their only game since our last power rankings? And I had them number 3 last week. So
okay, you got to be consistent. Okay, everybody on the air, we're gonna have a little discussion. I can't wait to see by the Four Nations Cup if Washington will be in your top 10.
100%. They're going to be leading the division by then.
Whoa!
Well, they're 3 points back in New Jersey with 4 games in hand.
I still say they'll be in 3rd place. I say that Colorado
They're 4th in the league right now, 6-3-1 their last 10.
Okay, so just wait a second here. I say Carolina's going to right their ship. They went through their little mid-season.
Oh, and Dallas is below 500 their last 10, just so you know.
Because they lose last night,
4-5-1.
Yeah, 4-5. We were 5-5-2. But I'm not worried about Dallas. I'm saying these people have their dips. Look at the Leafs lost 2 games, and you didn't even put them in your top 5. You don't think the Leafs are a top 5 team?
It's a tough list to crack. I had them out.
Your team's not top 5 in the NHL right now.
It was a little bit of a rough week.
Okay, but did they right the ship last night?
Yeah, against Detroit. But.
So they won convincingly without Matthews. Convincingly.
Yeah, but I've seen this one before.
That was a bitch slap in the Motor City. Okay, so let's see who they play tonight. Don't they play someone decent?
Washington.
There you go.
I think they're going to get their asses kicked tonight.
Okay, a beer. You know what? I'm betting on the Leafs. This is the first time. Mrs. Milani, what kind of parenting's going on? What'd you feed them over the Christmas holidays? Toronto going to beat Washington tonight.
I don't know. Washington was in Toronto waiting for us.
That's okay. They were out drinking. They were seeing all their old buddies.
I don't think so.
And all the people that play in the O were taking them to the places. They were all getting treated like kings. Girls everywhere. A lot of brown liquor.
Also, Matt Murray's going to be starting tonight, not Joe Wall.
Really?
Yeah.
Aren't you the one that's saying that he's been great? He's had his opportunity. Here we go.
I agree, but he's not Joe Wall.
Okay, well, you got to play the other guy. You were confident in him when I was questioning this last show.
I'm just saying Matt Murray on a back-to-back.
I was questioning the Matt Murray thing last time, and now you're going, well, Matt Murray's playing. Come on. You can't do that.
Well, we're going from a league goalie to I love Matt Murray, but he's a league replacement guy. Let's be real.
Okay, so last time around, I was the one that was anti-Matt Murray.
I'm not anti-Matt Murray. Don't get it twisted.
Okay.
I'm just saying in this particular instance,
most important thing in my life is tone of voice. When I replay this show, when I hear you say the words Matt Murray, I'm going to get some psychologist to test what does the cadence of that voice.
You do that.
And I'll go, I don't know if that was sounding really positive to me. Okay, just saying. Okay.
Back to back. I don't know. They've been waiting here for us. Backup goalie in net.
They're seeing people in where you live. There's people in Maple. People taking them down to St. Clair. People taking them to Vaughan.
They kept it serious last night.
Get out of here. holiday season in Toronto on a Friday night. They stayed home and sat in their hands. We're in the city. Stop it. Toronto wins 4-2.
4-2.
Got it.
Wow.
Right here, right now.
Anything else you want to add for the Leafs?
I really am happy for my boy, Mr. Robertson.
Yes.
I'm very happy for him. You know that I've been championing him all season. I said the kid's snake bitten. That line looks dangerous. You know what I mean? And missing Austin Matthews is huge. You can't deny that level of productivity. You know what I'm saying? But those first two lines are playing good, and the lines behind them are doing okay. I still think this. It's too bad they have that waiver issue because I think Fraser Minton would be better in this lineup. He maybe get there for the
waiver issue.
Well, you had to send him down because of all the guys. You know what I mean?
Oh, I see. Yeah.
But you know
contracts?
that kind of stuff. But I kind of miss his play out there. Like if he was on the fourth line ever or could move up, they could use him more than they could use Ryan Reeves. What's the other guy?
Yeah, but you're not going to push Minton to center or to the wing rather.
I don't know.
No, you got to think development with him.
You think he'll get some time in the playoffs? I predict he
Not
will.
if the Leafs are fully healthy. Because you got to push because that third line, you're not going to push Domi off there.
Oh,
or
no.
Robertson or
But he can go to the wing.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't do that. I'd rather keep it with Kemp, Dewar, Lorentz on that fourth line.
Okay.
Because those are guys that can rough it too a little bit.
Okay, but sometimes that just add depth scoring, and everybody in this league is looking for depth scoring. We all know that.
Yeah.
Everybody's looking for depth scoring. Right now, your top 6 is looking pretty good, perhaps maybe even your top 9. Okay? You know what I mean? You're all looking good out there. I'm saying the way that you guys are playing right now, Fraser Minton's better. I see him. He looks better than the Dewar, Lorentz.
Yeah, but having him play on the fourth line doesn't make it. What, having him play there 8 minutes a night? That's
So what, do you want him to play 20 down in the
Yeah, we got to think development with him.
Okay, so we'll let him rock down there because I heard he's been playing well since he returned. I think that he'll be in the lineup. That's the Jack Cruz call from the Cruz's Chaos on the House That Happens. I think Minton will be in the lineup for you guys in the playoffs.
Only if there's injury.
Really?
Yeah. If they're fully healthy, I can't see it.
Okay. You know what I mean?
Too many guys.
Too many guys?
Yeah, it's too many guys to pass.
One other question I'm asking.
Holmberg, too, is another guy to think of.
Yeah, okay, that's I probably put him over Minton, but
Berube likes Holmberg, though.
Because he's got a lot of variables, especially in the playoffs. I wouldn't leave him out of the lineup in the playoffs, no. I'm keeping Holmberg over a few of those guys.
Then Camp, you need him as your fourth line center.
100%. I know the reason that you need him. I get it. So, if you get to your top 9, he's number 10. Okay.
Who? Oh,
Camp.
Yeah.
He's that Swiss knife guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's too many things that he does that's not in the box score that you need him out there for. I get him. So he stays in the lineup. But we'll see. Lots of games to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Okay, that's coming in our bold statements. We'll worry about that later.
The Colorado Avalanche inked Mackenzie Blackwood to a 5-year extension, 26.25. So that's 5.25 per. Their goals differential, I should say, are stabilizing ever since they've made those 2 goalie trades. Did they overpay? Maybe, but it's basically opened up their championship window again.
I agree. And I was the guy that was saying, remember back early in this thing, they got to tighten up this, but they're good. They look good to me, but there was too many 7-6 games and shit. Now they brought it down. Colorado's a real threat.
Yeah, could Mackenzie Blackwood be their Darcy Kemper from a couple years ago, right? That's what they're hoping.
Their team's solid. The team is solid.
Oh, more than solid.
They did lose to Utah last night, though, didn't they?
But again, Utah's kind of a team that's peeking their heads up a little bit.
Yeah, and it was in their house. It was a good hockey game, by the way. And what is Colorado in their last 10? 7-3.
Yeah, very solid.
Yeah, I don't even have this updated. This must be from last night because it was sitting in my thing.
I wouldn't be surprised if in the next couple weeks they pass Minnesota in the standings.
Well, I was really trying to stay on the Minnesota bandwagon, but they're a team that's just not tough enough, bro. They're not. In a good skating game, they're Toronto Maple Leafs light last year. Mm-hmm. Except Toronto was just better at it, so they won more games against weaker teams. But look when Minnie plays the big teams. They have trouble against Calgary. Calgary bashes more than they do.
Oh, yeah, Calgary plays a big boy game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And Minnesota's they got to put on their big boy pants. or they're not going to get there. Like, I mean, they were my darling for a while, but now I get to watch them. And now I go to watch, certain teams because I yak about them. I go look at Carolina. I go look at Minnesota. I was doing the last couple of times I looked at Carolina. you jinxed their goaltending, bro.
I'm just spitting facts.
You jinxed their goal. You know what their problem is? Remember how we say
No, jinx is if you say like, oh, they're perfect. You don't have to worry, and then it falls apart. I'm just saying, hey, there's issues there.
Oh, there's okay. Anyways, you know me about save percentage and all that bullshit. I'm not worried about that. Do you make the save at the right time? Those Carolina guys do not make it.
And it just so happens to be reflected in their save percentage. What do you know?
Oh, but not really. Because they don't give enough shots. Because Carolina's so tight. You got to remember that. So you score a goal on less shots, your save percentage goes down. You know what I mean? So that's a factor I look in. That defends my. Can you make the save at that time? They had a game the other night. They only gave up 15 shots, last 4-2. Or 18 shots or whatever, 20 shots.
Either way, that's bad.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what scares me about Carolina. They do everything, and they play a big game.
Well, hold on. Let's go back to Minnesota for a bit. So, they don't play a big game, but they are in a position to accrue cap space.
Okay.
So they can add at the deadline.
Who are they going to go after? During the Four Nations
There's always guys that are going to come up.
Four Nations Cup, we'll say who's on the trade deadline by then. Well, listen.
I think the Islanders are going to look to unload a little bit before Four Nations.
Oh, before Four Nations?
Oh, because they have Brock Nelson playing in that tournament. Him especially.
Oh, right. You got
the rest of the guys, maybe they can wait till trade deadline, but Brock Nelson, I'm willing to bet that he's gone within the next month or so.
Oh, that's too hot of a rumor, though.
What?
That Brock Nelson.
They have to. Okay. You can't take the risk of him getting injured in the Four Nations.
That's true. Yeah. All the variables that we talk about that you don't always think about every day. What's the reason you come to the house that happens? That's quite interesting. But okay, that's my point. Does Minnesota go after a guy like him? He's a great hockey player. Does he have enough grit to add to that team? He's tough, but he's not that tough.
Well, I'm thinking Minnesota, like they might have to like think a little bit lower scale, like third liners, like middle six guys that are big.
Yeah. You know what they need? They need a guy like Nyes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of guy. He doesn't have to be a superstar, but you notice Nyes on the ice every night.
Yeah, you need someone who could just do the dirty work for the big boys.
And they just don't seem to have that guy. They got a couple young guys, but you know what they do? They kill themselves defensively. Because you see that on the ice. Sometimes you give up the goal, how they give it up, and then you look at it, it's the fourth liners out there. Mm-hmm. And the guy's like 22, 21. I'm hoping Minnesota can right the ship, but from what my eye, not analytics, whatever, and I was really liking them, I think they're in trouble. I think Colorado will pass them. I think Colorado's a Final Four team in that conference.
Could very well be.
Yeah.
Could very well be.
Trending that way.
Yeah. Matt Rempe getting an 8-game suspension.
Okay, back to the reputation bullshit again. We discussed this off air. The other time was worse. Come on.
But you're a repeat offender, so the punishment gets worse. That's built into the NHL, the player safety, right?
That's true, too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Progressive, whatever you call that. And you know what? Yeah. You know what? I feel sorry for the guy. He'll be at the league in, what, a year?
Yeah, you'd think. And this 8-game suspension basically ensures that he's going to miss the rematch against Dallas.
Yeah, you brought that up. That's a very interesting point because the boys want to get back at him. The problem is that Rempe's a bit of a... He probably is not going to get much more airtime unless he does something stupid like this again. You know what I'm saying? But
like goes on another fight run like he had last year?
Yeah, okay. But anyways, do you notice this too? And it's got to come up sooner or later. And let's put our position as the house that happens. Our position on this situation. When a guy nails a guy in the open ice, why do you have to fight? Why?
Because the other team would do the same. It's like a...
You had your head down. You thought you were playing the Oshawa Generals. You swooped into that place where if you... guys do and get away with it. Nylander's the best. But he's over time. Like Nylander learned in the first year, if I'll do that, I'll get killed. Now Willie's built himself up and stuff. He's one of the better guys. You know that dude that swoop through the middle zone? Mm-hmm. He's one of the better in the league. Kaprizov of Minnesota's good at it too. Certain guys, McKinnon.
Yeah, he can still do it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But when they do it in flow of the game, like some of these guys try to force that play, and what ends up happening? They get a shoulder to the chest. Okay, so what? Then you got to fight the guy because your buddy was stupid? Come on, that's one of the things about the NHL that's driving me nuts. How many times? Then it becomes an instigator. Like, why did Domi get the extra penalty for beating the hell out of that guy the other night? Why? That guy asked for it. I wonder what he said in his ear because something was said, and then Domi turned around and went nuts. Remember? So that guy said something to Domi. And look, that guy was sizable.
Well, I mean, sticks and stones, right?
Okay, in any event then, why did Domi get the instigator? Because he's Domi.
Oh, and it's official. Ovechkin is back for Washington tonight.
Oh, good. That's good. We're going to see. So they're all going to try to get him to score goals, and he won't?
No, he just scores against Toronto. That's just the way it is.
Okay, I'm still taking Toronto to win tonight. But you know what I'm saying about this hitting thing? Because the game's getting fast. Like, there's more hitting. Like, big boy teams are winning. Who are my top two? Vegas and Florida. Who won the last 2 Stanley Cups? What's the template? Copycat league.
Well, the thing is, though, if you just don't do anything, then it's going to be like, oh, why didn't you do anything? Your star player got hit. Like, you're not going to react to that? No,
we're going to go back to the dressing room and said, I had to fight that guy who beat the shit out of me to protect your sorry ass because you didn't have your head up going through the middle.
Well, yeah, you fight the guy still.
Yeah, but I'm going to defend my guy. The guy I'm fighting.
Okay, but that's my point, that you have to defend him.
Okay, so I'm defending him against Rempe. Oh, shit. There you go. So I go back to the dressing room in the first period, and I said, buddy.
Just send in the goons. Send in Ryan Reeves.
But you can't do that because then you're right. There is a thing about if your big guy gets hit and somebody doesn't do anything. Now, shit against the boards, I know there's some overreactions and shit like that. But I'm going to say more the into the board shit. I'm going to jump on that a little more, okay? I'll take a beating for you drive my guy in the boards. You know what I mean? Like
you take exception with the open ice hits.
Yeah, like, when you get hit, Passaretti twice this year nailed guys. Both times he went to the box. I don't remember Passaretti ever hitting guys. Think about a couple hits Passaretti's done this year.
Oh, yeah, I remember when we signed Pacioretty. I remember Serge being like, he's soft. Now he's hitting everybody, so...
Hey, did you ever see Passaretti hit like he's done? In my game in Montreal, that whole time, he was there. I don't remember ever Passaretti nailing guys like I've seen him nail guys now, but he did get hit a few times himself, so maybe self-preservation. I don't know, but seriously, you've seen Passaretti play over the years.
Sure.
Have you seen him play this tough?
Not this tough.
No, that's what I'm saying. And what is he getting for it?
I don't know. He didn't get called for that one against Hughes, so.
No, then he shouldn't have. That was a great hit. But anyways, let's keep moving along because we could talk about this all day.
Yeah, so we also wanted to get into the Montreal talk. So Patrick Laine, your boy, should just shut his fucking mouth when talking about the losing culture of Columbus.
But he was right. He was right. I'm glad he said it. He's true.
His own team that he's on now is a losing culture.
No, we're building. We're going from the ground up. Columbus has been building for 10 years. We just went to the conference.
What do you mean Columbus?
We went to the finals.
Hold on.
Columbus
beat Tampa Bay in the first round that year. At that point, the all-time leader in points in the season. They swept them in the first round.
Okay, what have they done lately?
Okay, what's your team done lately?
We went to the finals.
That was a million years ago.
So when was that when Columbus did that?
Okay.
The same century.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, so what I'm
about
saying
the same
is,
time.
Okay, I think that we're in a better position to say that we're moving forward.
I 100% disagree with that. I'd rather be on Columbus than Montreal now.
Oh, that's just a Toronto bias. Sounds like that to me. So I'm
no, that's looking at the standings biased.
Okay, let's take a look. What's going on?
Columbus is only 2 points out. Got real quiet in here after that.
Okay, just wait. I'm just taking a look here. We got some games. 31. What's Columbus?
Columbus minus 6 differential compared to Montreal's minus 22.
Okay, well, we'll get to that. But anyways.
How's Caden Primo, bro?
We don't need him. We finally got rid of him. We're bringing up the kid who's the smartest move we ever made. We're killing Montembeau. You know it. We're killing. Some nights he looks tired. He plays every game. He played back-to-backs. He played back-to-backs, old school, and almost stole both games. So I'm good. We're starting to look good. Our problem is this. I'm going to say it one more time. That fucking Matheson guy. Again the other night. He was horrible.
24 minutes a night.
Oh, killing me. Playing with a left winger. I'm sorry, Mr. Hudson. You know what I mean? He's going to be a good defenseman, and he's very good with the puck. You can't keep him out there with Matheson. It's killing us. Absolutely.
Yeah, the greatest defensive pair in the league, minus 14 and minus 12.
Oh, they're just, at times it's horrible. And you know what? Hudson looks good because he moves the puck up the ice most of the time. Yeah. But that glaring TSN turning point, brutal mistake, 9 out of 10 times, it's freaking Matheson out there with somebody.
And another reason why Columbus, I like them more than Montreal, they have the centers.
I was just going to say, the front end, yeah, big centers. You know what I mean? I've noticed that about them. We don't have that.
No. I don't know too much about I'm not an expert in the Montreal farm system, draft system, but it doesn't seem like that guy's on the way.
Okay, we got a guy in Europe that's 6'1" that we drafted. I forget who. I think we got a guy that's 6'1" that is suddenly showing up on the radar somewhere. I think he might be Finnish. I don't know. Anyways, we got one guy. I haven't seen him play. You can tell me his size. Until I see my eyes on the ice, he could be anybody. He could be Santa Claus for all I know. Montreal Canadiens problem. I'll have to eat that is. I like Columbus up to me. Was that Fantelli guy, one of them?
Yep.
Yeah, and they're all kids. And
all
they're all
young,
big.
all young.
And they're all big. Notice the size of their first three centers. They're all, 6'2"? I checked it out. If you check the size of those guys, they're all 6-footers.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Who do we got? Nick Suzuki, who I got to say is becoming one of the craftiest players in the league. He's going to be our first maybe point-a-game player in how many years? He might score 80 points. When last time we had an 80-point?
Didn't Suzuki do it last year?
No, he didn't quite get there. I don't
Are
think
you sure?
so. He didn't get point-a-game.
I'm pretty sure he did last year.
Maybe he did. Was he right on? He's having a better season this year than he did last year.
He was at 77 last year.
Yeah, so but I think he'll hit the 80-point. And we haven't had an 80-point scorer, and I don't know when. But you're right. I'll give Columbus that. They have bigger guys up the middle. Kids up the middle are looking good. But we got a bag load of wingers, big wingers, and Kirby Doc's got to play better as a center. You know what I mean? He's a third-line center.
Well, I think he's more of a winger.
I would prefer to have him on the wing. You know what I mean? But who do we have?
But either way, he's been nowhere near good enough this year.
No.
Oh, man, I did not realize he was a minus 24.
Who, Doc?
Yeah.
Oh, he's brutal. Just been brutal. And he's our center. What's he getting a night? 20 minutes a night? Yeah.
Probably in the teens.
No.
Because I saw Slavkovsky and those guys are all in the teens as well, so I think they probably keep the ice time pretty even.
I'm not worried about Slavkovsky. He's playing okay. Like, he's over his injury problem. Obviously, he had some injuries playing early. He's healthy now. He's looking okay. And the kid that we just traded for, he's going to be fine. Carrier, whatever his name is.
Well, he's not really a kid, but...
But any event, he's an upgrade on our defense. Aberjacky's getting better. I don't see the advancement on Gooley I thought I would see. You know what I mean?
Growth isn't linear.
No, but he's not big either. You know
we'll
what I mean?
see.
Well, yeah.
It's also just not a good defense core that you guys have right now.
No, we got potential, but I'm saying...
your favorite word.
Yeah, I know. I got a pocket full of it. Bottom line is, the guy that's teaching him is Matheson. Come on. You're killing me. This guy's terrible. He's worse when I came to Pittsburgh. Remember when we first doing the show and we got in Pittsburgh and you always say, this Matheson guy, glad Pittsburgh got rid of the guy. Well, let's give the guy a chance. He's offensive. He can do shit. Yeah, the one night he gets 3 assists and everyone goes, look, did you see those plays? Yeah, I was on the power play. So what was he for the night? 3 assists minus 2. Come on.
I won't argue that.
Thank you.
We mentioned that the Wave pre-mode. Red Wings fired Derek Lalonde. He's replaced by Todd McClellan.
And Todd McClellan was a coach that got fired too quick a couple times, I thought.
Yeah, and McClellan's now back where he won a Stanley Cup as an assistant coach.
There you go. You know what I mean? So Yzerman's keeping it close to the vest. A lot of people are questioning what Detroit and what Stevie Y doing.
Yeah, I mean I guess the growth there has not been as fast enough as people would have liked. Their goaltending, they can't seem to put it together there. But this year it's just been the scoring. They just don't have the scoring up front. Patrick Kane has really taken a step back.
Yeah, he's showing his age.
Yeah.
Okay, and another thing,
they don't have a number 2 center.
No, and it's the same thing like all those teams. You look at all those teams. Ottawa we'll bring up in a minute. Montreal, Detroit, Buffalo suddenly won a couple games. God bless them.
Yeah, they still stink.
Of course, and what's happening with the New York Rangers is beyond anything I can imagine. But I said in the preseason.
I might have them mentioned in my end of the year awards.
Okay, in any event, at the beginning of the season, I said the New York Rangers will fall down. And I
didn't think it'd be like this.
I don't think it would be that bad either, but I said they'd be struggling to make the playoffs. And look where they're at.
You gave them too much credit.
In any event, if you look at all of those teams, no depth scoring whatsoever.
No. I thought the Rangers could have depth. I mean, they've traded some guys, obviously, but I thought they would have the depth scoring. I looked at their line this year. I'm like, oh, they actually have 3 lines that can score, but I don't know if it's a coaching issue or what it is, but they...
Not tough enough. They get pushed around.
They have some big boys, though, which is the confusing... I mean, I know Zibanejad is known for being soft, but...
Yeah, big and soft. Okay, but no, my thing is this. I'm just mentioning those teams because what's the problem with those teams? Depth scoring, okay? Now, here's my point. When you talk about the Toronto Maple Leafs for a while, what was their problem? They're at the top of the league. What was Toronto Maple Leafs? One of their problems.
Yeah, depth scoring.
Depth scoring. So if you're having a depth scoring problem and you're one of the best teams in the league.
Yeah, imagine the lower teams,
the cellar dwellers, they must be just going, oh my God. which tells me if you're any guy, which I'm going to start studying before we get to the trade deadline, if you're any guy that can score 50 points with grit, your value at the trade deadline this year is going to be exponentially greater than we've seen in years.
It should be.
Yes.
It should be.
Yeah, you know what I mean? They'll be overpaying for some of these guys. I don't know who
actually, knowing the way it is a copycat league, I imagine we'll see some
overbidding.
Some big packages, first to second to prospect kind of thing.
Yeah. And then down the road, 3 years from now, you're going to say that trade was insane.
That was brutal.
Unless you get over the hump and win. Because that's the only way you do it. Or you make a serious run.
Or the guy is term and you're able to keep him for the next couple of years.
Point well taken. Well,
but if it's a pure rental, then I'm with you.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's going to be interesting this year. We're gonna see shit like that going on. After we see our power rankings, though, and I see those two teams play, who's going to beat Vegas or Florida in 7 games? All these other teams are going to battle. Colorado, Toronto, maybe, but every time I see those guys play, they hit the forecheck.
Yeah,
it's
Florida,
crazy.
though, the only thing, it's like you said at the beginning of the year, they've been to 2 straight finals. When does that start to catch up to them?
That's a point there.
Yeah.
And the one thing we got to mention.
Maybe it doesn't catch up to them this year. Who knows? But
it's all about fitness. You're a hockey player all year round. You're designed to do it. That's your job. You're young. Come on. You know what I mean? Okay, but you do have to say.
But you're also playing against other guys who had the full 2 months, 3 months of rest.
That's true too. And you're not. Well, I'm yes and no about that. But the fact is that you're playing that high level of competitive games, 20 games. So you're playing 40 games more. That's more.
That adds up.
Yeah, that's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay Lightning. But look at them. Tampa Bay's right back in the hunt.
But are they really putting any pressure on a Florida or a Toronto in that division? No, they're just kind of hanging in there in the wild card.
But do you want to play them in the playoffs?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Leafs have Tampa Bay's number
as of late. Don't count your chickens.
Hey, I'm just saying. We every time we play Vasilevsky, we seem to put up 5 against him.
That's just a weird stat that's going on. But in any event, now what's starting to surprise us, and we should all be saying this because they're going to take a serious run, is that team in the nation's capital.
Yes.
They seem to right the ship. You know what I'm saying? I don't
About time.
Oh, with all the talent they have, and suddenly they're a +7. But the problem with them is right now, Allmark just got hurt.
Yeah.
He's going to be gone. They had that funky beginning. Remember, they were all over the board. Allmark tightened up. The defense got more solid. Suddenly, they're scoring more. They're playing big boy hockey.
Yeah, but the rest of their goaltending's been a black hole this year. So can they keep up?
So what they're saying, he's going to be out, a week? 5 games. I heard the stretch that he could miss is 5 games.
Yeah, he's not expected to travel on the 5-game road trip.
Yeah.
That means he could miss even more time.
But that's a 5-game road trip.
Yeah.
And because they're
at least, though.
No, it's a 5-gamer.
No, but I'm saying, they're not saying he's going to be back right at the end of that.
Point well taken.
Yeah.
Because they're out of town because of the juniors.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah. Was that the first game of their 5-gamer? Ottawa?
Yes, they were in Edmonton. Actually, I don't. So they did have a road game in Edmonton before Christmas. I don't know if that counts.
Lost.
Yeah.
They didn't get beat up. Edmonton was just a better team.
Yeah, so that does not count as that 5-game road trip.
No?
No, so yeah, they're at Winnipeg today, then at Minnesota tomorrow, at Dallas Thursday, at St. Louis Friday, at Detroit the Tuesday after.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a tough schedule.
Without Allmark. Good luck, Ottawa.
Good luck.
Good luck.
One more thing I want to get to before we do our picks is the Vancouver Canucks in this beef rivalry, tough between Elias Pettersson and JT Miller, the top 2 centers for the Vancouver Canucks.
Maybe we'll call this show Quit Tiffing and Being Tough, considering we started the show with the whole shenanigans of people clashing Ryan Clark, Aaron Rodgers thing.
Yeah.
Different level, same shit.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I don't like you, you don't like me. What's going on there?
No one seems to know. I mean, we're getting kind of...
I like that Tocchet says, if anything gets out, I beat you with a stick. So I know Tocchet's got the roof down tight on that. You know, the type of NHL player he was, the type of coach he is, the old school manner in which you handle business. You agree?
100% I agree.
You know what I mean? Because nobody's saying nothing. When you ask the players, you might as well, they answer in Greek. You know what I mean? So, how many guys they ask guys, and they just say something, and you go, "Oh, they didn't answer that question very clearly, did they?" But due to the fact that you keep family business in the house, old school as it get. I watched The Godfather. I know that's played. You know what I'm saying? So, but there's something going on. But here's the deal. Neither one of them are producing.
No.
You know what I mean? Neither one. Now, I'll tell you what it is. Is it the style of play that you play? Like, I noticed JT Miller out there. I don't always notice Pedersen out there.
But their production's about the same this year.
Below their averages. Yeah. Well below what's expected.
Yeah, I think they're both just under a point per game this year.
And they're both minus players. Okay, so what is there? So what is the pot calling kettle black?
I don't know, but but we talked about this before. JT Miller plays that kind of like you never confuse the two for each other.
Oh no,
JT Miller plays that like hard nosed game, and Pedersen's more of a finesse guy.
Okay, so rumor has it, and you probably listen to Elliot Freeman more than I do, and things that go and saying on, and Elliot Freeman just says enough.
Yeah,
somebody said something in the dressing room, in front of the team. Someone yelled across the dressing room. I wonder what direction the yell was in. That's all I'm saying.
Sure.
I'll leave it at that because I have no proof. I have no sources. Allegedly, whatever. I'm just respecting the fact that Vancouver has kept this so in-house.
Agreed.
That means your team is tight. The rest of the guys are holding down the fort. You know what I mean? Not like some of these NBA, NFL prima donnas. Man, it's on their podcast in 10 minutes.
All right, so we're already an hour and a half into this one.
Okay,
should we do our picks?
Yes, we should.
All right, so first up, Montreal at Florida. I'm going to choose the Panthers to defend home ice.
Yeah, okay.
So you're on Florida as well?
Come on.
Okay,
what you going to do?
That's a yes. Seattle at Vancouver. I'm going to choose Vancouver at home.
I
despite
think so
their
too.
troubles.
Yes, I think they're going to pull it off.
Philadelphia at Anaheim. I'm going to choose Philly to steal this one on the road.
Nah, I got Anaheim. We got our guy Dostal right after Christmas. He's going to be great. Okay. I love that guy. My new favorite goalie.
Edmonton at LA. I'm going to choose Edmonton to steal this one on the road. They're on quite the hot streak.
I hate to agree with you, but I say Edmonton to win too. I'm an LA guy.
Columbus at Boston.
Columbus
got the win yesterday against Boston at home. I'm going to choose Boston to defend home ice and get the rematch or get the revenge.
Nah, I'll say they'll play even better.
So Columbus is going to get the sweep.
Yes.
Wow.
I'm loving that.
Washington at Toronto. I've already made my position clear.
And I've made mine clear. We know all about it. Next.
New York Rangers at the Tampa Bay Lightning. I'm going to choose the Lightning at home.
Oh, yeah. Unless a miracle happens. You know what I mean?
New Jersey at Carolina. Another rematch from last night. New Jersey got the win at Carolina. I think they get the sweep. New Jersey got the win at home. I think they get the sweep at Carolina tonight.
I think this game is going to be more of a scoring thing. And who's going to be playing goal for New Jersey tonight? The other guy, not Jake Allen. The bum. Not a bum.
Oh, Markstrom?
No, Markstrom played yesterday.
Oh, so probably Allen then.
Allen's out.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh.
So with that being said.
Well, Carolina's only got bums in net, so there you go. It doesn't change my position.
I'll take the home team bum.
Okay. Ottawa at Winnipeg. I'm going to choose Winnipeg to win this one at home. Tough stretch here for the Sens.
I'm going to say that they're going to get up, stand up, be good Canadian boys, and be pissed off that that they lost. They got to defend the capital. Taking Ottawa to beat Winnipeg tonight. I think Ottawa is tougher than Winnipeg.
Yeah,
I think so. Like their style.
But they're without their goalie now.
Oh. Okay, let's see what the kid's going to do. Stand up his first game.
Pittsburgh at the Islanders. I'm going to choose the Islanders at home.
Really? Pittsburgh needs to win.
Islanders Saturday night have been very good at home.
Yeah, you're right. I got to stay on I can't kick them to the curb already.
And last but not least, Calgary at San Jose. I'm going to choose Calgary to steal this one on the road.
Since Celebrini's becoming my next favorite player every time I see him, I'm taking San Jose at home.
Okay, even though
Who's the kid that he plays with too? The other kid in that team.
The Swedes?
Yeah.
Ekholm and Zetterlund.
Oh, that Zetterlund kid. Yeah. I love his style too.
Yeah, he's great.
You know, they got to quit they're a little bit too dipsy doodle at times, but they do it at high speed.
Yeah.
Like if you leave that open, they just come. They're flying. And Celebrini ain't a little guy.
No, he's not.
He's not a little. Like he's got that low center of gravity, oak tree style body that makes you, competitive kind of guy. Okay.
Yeah, we'll move this to the NFL where first, Cruz, I guess I'll ask you to shut off that or change the channel of that New England game TV just so we don't get spoiled for our picks.
Oh, really? Is the game started?
About to. In like 15 minutes.
So where do we got to go?
The bottom left one is on that, yeah. So we'll begin with our power rankings. I guess I'll start while you fidget with the TVs there. Once again, I went out of control and insane and did a top 10 instead of a top 5. Number 10,
Okay.
I got Washington.
Okay.
Number 9, I got the LA Chargers.
Okay.
Number 8, I got the LA Rams.
Okay.
Number 7, I have the Green Bay Packers. Number 6, I got the Minnesota Vikings. Number 5, I have the Baltimore Ravens. Number 4, the Buffalo Bills. Number 3, the Philadelphia Eagles. Number 2, your Detroit Lions. And number 1, the defending champs, the Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay, so next week I'll bring a top 10 too, but my honorable mentions would be Philadelphia and the Vikings.
Wow,
and
Philly
the
didn't make your
Rams.
list.
Philly did not make my list. There's something smelly in Philly.
Well, we've known that for a few weeks now.
Okay, and Jalen Hurts is banged up. I was very high on them, you know that, but things can change very quickly in the NFL.
Sure they can.
So that's my honorable mentions because I don't have a top 10, but I will say Philly, the Vikings, and the Rams are all honorable mention on for that. I'll make a top 10. Surprise to everybody, and I don't care what you say, the number 5 of my team is Green Bay Packers. Number 4, got the Baltimore Ravens. Number 3, my beloved Detroit Lions. Number 2, the Buffalo Bills. And number 1, the 15-1 Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, it's hard to argue with them being number 1.
You can't. You know what I mean? If you don't get, especially after the last 2 games. Now, I don't think it's going to happen again for a long time, but these guys played 3 games in 11 days. Won all 3.
Yep.
Baltimore, 3 games in 11 days. Won all 3. That's the main reason I put both of those 2 in my top 5 because you know what I mean. Like,
mind you, they also played teams that played.
They played Pittsburgh and Houston, and they're both playoff teams.
Yeah, but they also both played in that 3 games in 11 days though too. So
Who the other teams?
yeah,
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But they won 3. Couldn't you pull out 1 win? The reason I got against Pittsburgh so much is that Mike Tomlin's record on a short week is insanely bad.
yeah.
And so I just took it that way. So Kevin Pick, I did not take favorites just because. Oh, by the way, Mr. Pick, I took the Bears the other night. They were not a favorite, were they?
They were not. Then
I
they
believe the
just
spread
barely
was-
covered the spread.
What's that?
They just barely covered the spread.
Who?
The Bears.
Yeah, that's all that matters. Barely's good enough for me. That's called W. I need W's at all costs. And I had to cheer for the Bears. Oh, it was an awful night. Awful football. By the way, most of the games were junk.
I agree.
That's the sad part about it. You know, you went from the Saturday game, then you got to
Christmas.
yes, and they were and the Thursday nighter games are bad.
That was the worst. May have been the worst game of the year.
I didn't care. I say 6-3, baby, 6-3. That's all I was caring about. You know what I mean? I thought it was like a high-scoring soccer game. That's all I could think about it. But
Like
in
a
any
baseball
event,
game.
we're getting to a point now, if I'm able to say one thing before we're going, and I shouldn't say this because it's a pick thing now. If you're in any kind of a pool and you're picking, there's only so many games left. There's only going to be picking about 6 games. Well, Cruz, there's 13 on the schedule left this weekend. We're all picking the same for about 5. Everybody's picking a certain 5. There's going to be, unless you're like I used to do years ago when I was behind, I'd just pick a whole bunch of crazy upsets just to try to steal a week.
Yeah.
You know, something like that. But if you're in a serious hunt to stay in a place, in a football pool, you're only going to be picking 6 or 7 games, in my opinion. Don't you think there's some credibility?
Yeah. No, I buy that.
You know what I mean? So it's going to be even tighter than ever. So we started the week, knock wood. I'm 3-0 to start.
All right.
I'm not bitching about it.
So one thing I noticed in the NFL this year was last year the Ravens were the only 13-win team. Now we have 3 13-win teams already, with the chance there could be up to 7 13-win teams this year. It's probably going to be closer to 5, but if all these guys win, we're gonna have 13. And the Chiefs are already 15-1.
There you go, and the Lions have got 13, and I'm sure Minnesota's going to. Oh yeah,
Minnesota's got 13 as well.
Okay, so who else do we have in line here? Philadelphia could, so could the Rams.
Yep.
Ravens.
Ravens. Yep.
There you go. So
And there's a couple more too.
I'm going over this thing right now. Oh yeah, Green Bay technically, right?
And Buffalo.
Oh yeah,
Buffalo's 1 away.
Oh yeah, Buffalo will get to 13, which is interesting.
They should get to 14.
Okay, so does that mean that this year parity went out the window? Okay, so I look at it
yes and no.
Okay, so I look at it this way. It could be an aberration. Okay? You know how the Matrix says you play cross
Yeah.
division things? Well, these teams with the 13 wins, What divisions did they play? Oh, Detroit played the AFC South. Oh, who played the Baltimore? Didn't they play the the NFC South or something like that?
That was the Chiefs division played the AFC South.
Okay, the Chiefs division, and look, all three teams are in the playoffs. That's what I'm saying. Isn't it interesting? Like, no, yeah, they play them. So sometimes the Matrix says these teams are real shit and this division's real shit. And if you happen to get them this year and you're a consistent team, then away you go. Now combine it being played on your side of the field with the worst division in your conference, which I think Detroit was. Didn't we? Yeah, and that was us. Detroit. Look who we had playing Tampa Bay and all those
that
guys.
division. Yeah,
you know what I mean. So look at the break that we had as Detroit, which people don't want to look at. And I'm not dogging on my team because we got what we had. But there's 8 games that were very winnable for the Detroit Lions, but we beat everybody else in front of us, so it makes us competitive. But I'm saying next year it could switch the other way. Like, what if it's the year that the NFC North plays the AFC North?
Mm-hmm. A lot less wins there.
Yeah, they'll be a little bit more competitive. So I wonder, like, when they say, oh, the NFL is all about parity, it's all about the same. I'm saying it's all about that. Sometimes I think it's all about divisions and organizations. Because when you come to the table in the NFC, even though the NFC North is new to this, let's get this straight.
Yeah.
I've been in this division for a long time, and Minnesota and Green Bay have owned it for a long time, with Chicago jumping up, and we're occasionally get a kick at the can. But you look at the NFC East, they know to start the season, you better tie your shoes, even though the Giants have been horrible this year. Traditionally, they're a great franchise. You know what I mean? They're in the competition.
Well, yes and no.
Yeah, but I mean, they've got some Super Bowl stuff. They got
sure.
Okay, then you go to the NFC West. Those teams have been competitive for a while. That's Seattle, Arizona, Rams. Is it an organizational thing, you think, in their division to start with? Because they always say you got to win your division.
Sure.
What's going on in the AFC South then?
That's just a historically bad division.
When you think about it, it really is, except for the years with Peyton Manning. But every year, the team that comes out of there never really goes anywhere. Look at
they usually get slapped in the division or the wild card round.
Exactly, or get beat at home. I mean, look at there's been a talk about how good is J.J. Watt. And, of course, he's getting an airtime now because he's becoming a personality. Guy won Defensive Player of the Year 3 times. Houston was a fixture in the playoffs.
Yep.
But what did they do?
Not much. They didn't really have the quarterback.
No, and another thing is, too, though, is when you look at the rest of the teams in that division, who did they have to beat? Jacksonville, Tennessee. You know what I mean? So you look around. I mean, but you play who's in front of you.
That's the thing.
But I'm starting to realize now it's an organizational thing. You play in a division. Like I haven't been watching much of it. I've seen the Hard Knocks. Everyone says you got to watch Hard Knocks just because they're talking about the playoff run in the AFC North.
Yeah, I'm an episode behind, but it's been great so far.
Yeah. So you have been watching it? Yeah, I haven't been watching enough of it, but I heard it's really good, eh? And look at how those organizations are run. You know what I mean? I feel bad for Cincinnati this year, but they got the right formula to be there. They got top of their defense. I mean, look at Joe Burrow. Is that the wasted season?
Yeah, of course it is. They can't close games.
Are you taking them this week?
Cincinnati?
Should be interesting.
I think I do have... I think I am taking Cincinnati.
Okay, we'll get to that in a second.
Yeah, a couple more things. So there's a few milestones this week. So Myles Garrett became the youngest NFL player ever to 100 career sacks. One of our favorites here at the House That Happens.
100%.
Travis Kelce passes Tony Gonzalez to become the Chiefs' all-time receiving touchdown leader at 77. And Lamar passed Michael Vick to become the NFL's all-time leader in QB rush yards with 61 10 yards plus.
Would you rather have Michael Vick or Lamar Jackson in a big game?
That's tough. That's tough.
I mean, you're going to say Lamar's a better player.
Vic's a little bit before my time, too, so...
But Vic would win in the playoffs. Like, he was more... I mean, he got beat by better teams. He got beat by
How far was Atlanta going?
Well, even when he got to Philadelphia, yeah. He was okay. He got them a win.
I don't think they ever got to... Did they ever get to the championship game, though?
No.
Yes, I'd probably say Lamar.
Yeah, in the long run. But I will say this. I would rather, if I was starting my team today, if I was starting team today and they were both on my team, I would start Tony Gonzalez over Kelce.
Okay.
That's my eye test. Nothing going against Kelce. Top 10 of all time now. He's top 10. I mean, the game has changed for him, but there was something about Tony Gonzalez that was, You know what
Well,
I mean?
if you look at a lot of top tight ends lists, he's always, or he's not always, but he's at number one a lot of the time.
Oh, of course he is. I would rather have the man Shay. I'd rather have what's his name, Sharp.
Oh, Shannon Sharp.
I'd rather have Shannon Sharp over Kelsey in their prime, like in their absolute.
How about Gronk?
Oh, that's a gimme. That's just a gimme.
Thank you very much.
In my opinion, I would take Gronk over Tony Gonzalez.
How can you not?
In my opinion, Gronk's greatest tight end of all time. You know what I mean? Okay, sometimes his numbers weren't there, but Gronk took a beating.
Yeah.
He took a beating. Like, nobody could hit at him. Guys were just trying to kill him because he was so goddamn big. You know what I mean? And it'd get nailed. You know what I mean? Gonzalez was low to the ground. The other guys were going down. But look how many times two guys would crush. And look where Gronkowski would catch the ball.
Yeah.
Animal. But anyways.
Also, Cleveland is restructuring Deshaun Watson's deal, so it looks like they will keep him for 2025. Surprisingly.
Okay, well, we have already discussed this. There's an interesting dichotomy on what goes on with these quarterbacks and their money. They owe him a lot of money. Do you want to have that dead cap space?
Fully guaranteed deal. So, yeah, okay. He's got that 2 year.
He's not Russell Wilson.
No.
Okay, because he's 29. Russell Wilson's what, 34, 35 now?
Yeah.
Okay, so like 29 years old. There is hope. Sometimes they say that's your best years, 29,
but
35.
Also consider when he was injured coming off the field, the Cleveland fans cheered for him coming off the field.
Greatest comeback in American history.
I don't see it.
Neither do
What's my favorite phrase? The sunken cost fallacy? This is it right here.
Name of my next band. We won't see the other one and my other one.
Thank you very much.
Okay. In any event, we should take a quick look around the league because, in my opinion, everything's pretty well decided.
Very quick.
You know,
very quick. AFC, Chiefs, they've actually clinched the number one seed, so they're going right to the division round. Bills, Ravens, Texans. I mean, at this point, I guess we're on Baltimore to win the division.
Oh, yeah.
Especially after that last stretch.
No doubt about it. No doubt.
And their last couple games at Houston versus Cleveland. I mean, Cleveland is a division game, but it's at home.
Business decision game.
Yeah, but also Cleveland is going to want to embrace being the spoiler.
I hope so.
I think they will. You got Myles Garrett. He's a competitive guy. Jameis Winston, he's playing for his future.
He's not even starting, though.
Oh, is he not?
No, he's not even starting, so he's already in trouble. The bottom line is you got to give huge shout-out to Sean, what's his name, in New Orleans. Coach.
Denver, you mean?
I mean, in Denver, yeah.
So the thing about Denver is they got they're in Cincinnati and then versus the Chiefs their final 2 weeks. But the door is still a crack open, I would argue, for the Colts to maybe make a run at it.
It's going to be tough.
Well, look who the Colts got their last 2 games.
Nobody.
At the Giants versus Jacksonville. And again, division game against Jacksonville. Again, I get it, at home, but Jacksonville stinks.
Okay, so they're going to win their last 2 games.
They should.
Okay, and what is Denver right now? Denver wins
9-6.
Okay, so who do they, the last 2 games?
At the Bengals versus the Chiefs.
Oh, I think that the Chiefs is going to be great for them because everybody in the Chiefs is going to be sitting.
But even like if it's Carson Wentz playing QB, it's still like...
Oh, he'd want to make some numbers, so I'm going to say... I'm saying Denver's not a shoo-in. I think the Chargers are. But that's the only really question because when you get to the NFC, all you got to think about is who's going to win the South. Everything else is pretty well decided.
My money's still on Tampa Bay.
Oh, me too. But I'm saying everything else is decided. Philadelphia's in, Washington's in, and the amazing NFC North. Lions, Minnesota, and Green Bay are all in, which is the South.
Well, although the NFC West, though, it's still... The door's still a little bit open there for the Seahawks.
They're done like dinner.
I don't want them to get the playoffs, but...
After what you see them score a 6-point game, we get them off.
That's not a playoff team. No.
Get out of here. Get out of here. You're horrible. We don't even want to talk about you anymore. So that's only one team. We got the Rams and Atlanta coming, and everything else is going to be decided in the East, which should make for some great games.
Absolutely.
There should be some really good games because the top end is heavy. You know what I mean? And Washington seemed to have righted the ship there. I was a little concerned about them, but then Philadelphia.
Big comeback against Philly.
But then Jalen Hurts had a concussion.
Still, though, that's one guy.
Still, I thought they were going to pull it up.
Well, I mean, to Jalen Hurts' credit, I think that proves he's not just a system quarterback.
5 Pro-Line tickets. I had Philadelphia on 6-game parlays. All of those tickets are on the floor over there. They're 5 out of 6. At one point, they were leading by 13. The spread was only 5.
So Vegas always wins, and so does the government of Ontario, apparently.
Ontario's legal gangsters. Yeah, they
Yeah, there you
got
go.
me. But that's why I didn't put Philadelphia on my power list. Do you want to know what reason that cost me too much? You know what that cost me? It cost me about almost $400, bro. Almost $400 in Pro Line tickets. I was so pissed. And you know what it was? I got rushed because I can't see that little thing. So all of a sudden I noticed the time was running out, and I don't usually put that many on a different ticket. But it's hard. I need new glasses.
You ready for our picks, or you got anything else to add?
No. I think that I can't wait now because this football already started. Can we put on?
Almost. It's about to start in a minute. So let's run through these, and then we'll put them
Around
on.
our year. Okay.
So your picks, you're 3 for 3 so far.
Thank you.
I'm 0 for 3 so far.
Oh, no. What else that happens? You're 0 for 3,
I'm
really?
0 for 3.
You're killing me. Really? What were you doing? You're not listening to an old man? Didn't I give you something to smoke? Think about it. You're leaving with a package today. That's it. We're done with that shit. Come on. You can't. You're 0-3?
I'm 0-3.
Oh, my God. What does that
I was
say
on
for our
Pittsburgh, I was on
reputation?
Houston, I was
As a
on
house,
Seattle.
As happens. We have a reputation, kid.
I shine with my hockey picks. My
Okay, yeah, that's true, too. This is a more concerted effort right now that you need. You're 0-3?
So should also mention I'm 0-3.
Bro.
Last week we both had pretty good weeks. You were 10 for 16. I was 8 for 16.
Yes, that 10 held me in there. You need 10. Need 10 in the pick and pool. You need 10 for the stretch.
All right. So first up, LA Chargers at the New England Patriots. Chargers favored by 6 on the road. I'm going to choose the Chargers.
I'm taking the Chargers all day. It could be a little bit cold, but Harbaugh will have them ready.
That's fine.
Yep, that's what I'm saying too.
Denver at Cincinnati. This one is a little bit of a tricky one. Cincinnati's favored by 3.5 at home, but I'm going with Denver.
I'm taking the Bengals all day. I expect a 10-point win. Wear them down in the fourth quarter. It's going to score a little bit more. I got something to say about Bo Nix later, but we'll continue.
Okay.
I'm taking the Bengals.
Arizona Cardinals versus the LA Rams. Rams favored by 6.5 at home. I think they cover that easily.
Not a problem. Arizona's horrible on the road.
And they've just been garbage the last few weeks, too. Dallas Cowboys at the Philadelphia Eagles. No Jalen Hurts. So the Eagles are favored. The spread's been going down, but they're favored by 7 right now. I'm going to take Dallas to cover. They've been a decent road team this year.
I'm going to take them to cover, too, because it's going to be Kenny Pickett.
Yes.
And I heard
small
he might
hands,
be
Kenny Pickett.
Yes, I'm very skeptical about that.
Especially in the cold weather, those small hands, that's going to hurt.
I'll take the Cowboys and the points.
New York Jets at the Buffalo Bills. Bills favored by 9.5 at home. Bills all day.
I'm taking the Jets to cover.
Oh, my God. Why?
I'm taking the Jets.
I
was
like, Cruz isn't going to take the Jets this week, is he?
Was I stuttering?
The one time he takes the underdog, folks, it's the Jets.
Okay.
Las Vegas Raiders. Wow, I wasn't even alive, I don't think, when they were the LA Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
Las Vegas Raiders at the New Orleans Saints. Raiders somehow favored by 1.5 points on the road. I don't understand that. Saints at home should be an easy
all
pick.
All day.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, yep. All day.
Indianapolis at the New York Giants. Colts favored by 7.5 on the road. I think they win by about 12, so give me the Colts.
I'm taking them too.
Carolina at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is favored by 8.5 at home. Division game, I think Carolina keeps it tight. I don't think they win outright, but give me the Panthers.
I really think that Tampa Bay's got to show a little bit more dominance here. So I think at home to rise up, I think they're going to beat them by more than that.
Okay.
The defense is going to do it. I think it's going to be a 20-10 game, something like that.
I mean, Tampa Bay defense this year has been
But against teams like the Panthers, division
game
at home. Well, then we should be thinking about that when we were talking about which one that a bigger spread at. Okay, let's get back to it.
Jets and Bills.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, but the Jets suck.
Okay.
Tennessee at Jacksonville. Tennessee is favored by 1 point on the road. Give me Jacksonville.
Because
home dog.
Home dog.
Yeah,
we got to take the home dog there.
Miami at Cleveland. Miami's favored by 4.5 on the road. Give me Cleveland at home, though. I think they play spoiler.
Okay, so here's what I'm saying. They got to break that streak about playing in weather below. What's the temperature going to be in Cleveland on Sunday?
I don't know. It's got to be pretty cold.
Miami's got a hope in hell shot at making the playoffs. They absolutely have to win this game.
You're taking the Dolphins?
I have to take the Dolphins, even though I hate them.
Green Bay at Minnesota. Green Bay's favored by 1.5 points on the road. Give me the home dog, Minnesota.
Taking Green Bay.
Okay. I mean, at that point, it's pretty much like a pick 'em. Mm-hmm. Atlanta at Washington. Washington's favored by 3.5 at home. I think they win by a touchdown. Give me the Commanders.
I'm taking that too.
And last but not least, Monday Night Football, Detroit at San Francisco. Detroit's only favored by 3.5 on the road. Give me the Lions.
We have to take the Lions because we've been winning in situations like this. San Francisco's a complete mess. Going to be a high-scoring game again, people. It'll be entertaining. When have you not seen Detroit on primetime this year and they're not entertaining? Go. Just take a look. We've had more primetime games than usual. We're highly entertaining. Let's go look at some of those games. Houston, Green Bay, American Thanksgiving against Chicago. All them games, highly entertaining.
Highly entertaining, and I guess you could turn it back to the Patriots game. And we will turn this over for our final segment, our final big segment. Not only of the show, but of the year. We will do our postseason awards. So I guess we'll save Athlete of the Year for last.
Okay.
Let's go a coach/manager of the year first.
Okay, you go ahead.
So in contention, I had Paul Maurice. I thought Andy Reid. I thought Joe Mazzulla. But my coach of the year, Dan Hurley, UConn Huskies.
Oh, what a call. Okay. I thought about him too. That's a great call.
Back to back, come on.
That's why I took Andy Reid.
I mean, can't argue with that either.
I took Andy Reid because back-to-back Super Bowls are so hard to come by. You know what I'm saying? So my coach of the year was Andy Reid, but Danny Hurley was a great selection. I also had, as an honorable mention, who did you have?
Paul Maurice.
Paul Maurice. He was right up there too. You know what I mean? But it was only his first time. But Paul Maurice, I was leaning toward
Back-to-back finals, though.
Well, that's what I was saying. He was like right there because he's Canadian and everything. Mm-hmm. But because Super Bowl is just as hard to win back-to-back, I said, okay, I'm taking Andy Reid. Good selections on both sides. Good candidates. But Danny Hurley, great pick.
Biggest disappointment. So I had in contention even though they're picking up a little bit now, the Philadelphia 76ers, San Fran 49ers, they're losing the Super Bowl and they just had an awful season this year. New York Rangers with their fall off. But my biggest disappointment was the Toronto Blue Jays.
Oh, really? My biggest disappointment was New York Rangers. But you know what? If I had a thought about it, I just put the Blue Jays over there because, I'm one of the top 5 aggravated fans. You know what I'm saying? That's a good pick, too. But I picked the Rangers only because I wanted to be consistent with saying I thought they would suck anyway. And here they are doing what I'm saying. So they are a huge disappointment in all the sports. Philadelphia was also high on my list of huge disappointments. You know what I almost put in, but I just couldn't do it? Man City.
No, they've been too good for most of the year.
To say that, but I mean, in the back of my mind, I thought I was going to screw you up and say Man City, but I did.
I thought about them.
I did too.
Best surprise. So I thought the Houston Rockets. I thought the Denver Broncos. I thought the Kansas City Royals.
Oh yeah,
but I got to give it to the Washington Capitals.
Wow,
for just how they've been turning it around, a mix of the old and the young there. They play it tough. They got the goaltending.
You're really on their bandwagon, aren't you?
I am really on that bandwagon.
Okay, so you heard your honorable mention, so you know who my biggest surprise is.
Kansas City?
No, I like them a lot. They were honorable mention. The Houston
They're my
Rockets.
number 2. Oh, Houston Rockets.
Houston Rockets are my guys. You know what I mean? But those are great things. I thought of Kansas City too. A couple other teams I thought of, but we already expect them like Memphis because they were so bad this year and they came on this year. But we expected that. It was the injury thing. I thought Houston because of their progression, and nobody even thought them to be a playoff team. And look where they are right now. So I'll give Houston. But your pick is great too.
Thank you very much.
I should have thought about it seriously, and I would have put them miles ahead of everybody.
Moron of the year.
What's the guy that I forget his name? Stevenson. I thought the moron of the year was on the Hail Mary play.
Oh, for the Bears?
For the Bears.
And they haven't won since. A 10-game losing streak for the Bears.
There you go. So I'm putting him as my idiot of the year.
Maybe he should be on my list, but I only thought both of my contenders were both owners. So I had Jerry Reinsdorf, owner of the Chicago White Sox, and the Bulls as well, I guess.
And Woody.
And Woody Johnson. He's my moron of the year.
Yes. Okay.
Not trading guys because of Madden ratings, having his 17-year-old son running the show.
Isn't that brutal when that came out? Do you hear about the game ball thing in the dressing room?
His ridiculous speech there.
Come on. And you know what this kid sounds like? Richie Rich.
He is Richie Rich.
He is Richie.
He's going to be a great star for Harvard's tennis team, I hear, though, in a couple years.
Yeah, but he already lost already.
Oh, really?
Yeah, McAfee got on it. They checked his record and shit.
Oh, he's not good?
Oh, they say, he might be the extra guy on the doubles team.
The reserve.
You know what I mean? He's going to be like, what's that, our F1 buddy you like? Because daddy's got money.
Oh, Stroll.
Yeah, he'll be on that level in his sport, so to speak. But that's insane.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane.
Biggest bitch.
Oh, there was just a bunch of candidates.
This one's almost too hard.
Is it? Okay. So we got many.
Because there's so many.
Okay, Coco Gauff is an honorable mention. Because you know what I've been saying all year.
Yeah.
I could go through, then I just show what a hater I really am. But I'm going to go to a trusted go-to that I keep in my back pocket all the time, who's proved that he's going to be a Hall of Fame bitch, and that's Joel Embiid.
Oh, he was one of my contenders. He's not my biggest bitch, though.
Oh, I think he should be repeat offender. Let's see what this guy has done. He goes and plays the Olympics, says he can't play backs-to-backs, puts his neck around a freaking reporter, shows up that he can't even run, and his team isn't even in the play-in yet. You know what I mean? I know the other candidates. I had some Trae Youngs in there and a few other guys. But
Trae Young did not make my top 4.
Okay, so let's hear your top 4.
So Holland, Manchester City.
I didn't want you. You're killing me.
Embiid was my number 3.
Okay, I knew you were going to put in the Man City, and I just couldn't beat on the guy, but he's right up there.
John Fisher, owner of the A's, is on that list.
Good call.
But my biggest bitch of the year, Raygun, the Australian breakdancer in the Olympics. People called her out on her bullshit, and she has not shut up since. So I'm telling you, Raygun, shut the fuck up. You're my bitch of 2024, my biggest bitch of 2024.
I cannot exceed that selection. That should be on the Hall of Fame House of the Happen selections. I forgot all about that. That even you had him beat on your list. But yeah, no. I will concede to that 100%.
Fail of the year. So these are just like, I took it as like worst teams. By me, you could take it any way you want. So my contenders were the combined efforts, or lack thereof, of the New York Rangers, New York Islanders, New York Giants, and New York Jets. Just a horrible year for New York hockey.
I should have piled on to that.
Chicago Blackhawks on that list, but it's that team from the South Side. My biggest fail of the year, the Chicago White Sox.
Okay,
all-time losingest baseball team ever.
Oh, I agree with that. That was my number one fail of the year. Now, I just lost my train of thought, and I put it down because I had the New York Rangers as my number 2 biggest disappointment of the year. But I had just one that just came through my head as maybe I've lost my train of thought. Who did I have in there? Who did you all say? What was on your list?
Rangers, Islanders, Giants, right. Jets, Blackhawks, White Sox.
Yeah, because I definitely had Chicago in there. But I was also thinking about one of the biggest disappointments is, I can't even. My Toronto Blue Jays had them on the list, but we already kicked the shit out of them. I can't have it. I just wrote it down, came to my head. Let's go on.
Who's your fail of the year?
My fail of the year?
Yeah.
Chicago White Sox.
Oh, White Sox as well?
Yeah, definitely. You can't. With their history of baseball and stuff, fail of the year. You can't. I hope I don't see that again. Okay? You know what I mean?
I hope so, too. That was pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
Team of the year. So I thought UConn, the Huskies, the men's team again, the LA Dodgers, the Boston Celtics, but I gotta give it to the Kansas City Chiefs.
You can't deny it. You can't. I had the same thing. I had Boston on my list, but you know they would never make it anyway. I thought UConn's a good call because starting at next month we're gonna have a little bit of a college basketball report.
Yeah,
college basketball report.
Probably after the NFL ends.
Yeah, it's the NFL. Yeah. We'll pick it up from there. In any event, I also had them. You have to back-to-back Super Bowls are so thing, but UConn is number 2 is not a bad selection because winning back-to-back March Madness is one of those makes you one of the greatest teams of all kinds kind of nonsense. So I respect that 100%.
And lastly, athlete of the year. This was a tough one.
Did you really?
Yeah.
I did not have any problem at all. Number 1. Now I had Ohtani on the list. I had the American swimmer on the list. I had who else from the NFL I had on the list? Had Lamar on the list. Just we're not done, not because he's done, because his double MVP, his second time for his MVP, I had him on my list. But I'm not telling. I had Summer McIntosh.
Yeah, I figured you would.
I had Summer McIntosh up there on my list, but nobody moved the needle more than their sport this year than our favorite here at the House That Happens, Miss Caitlin Clark.
Mm-hmm.
That's my athlete of the year.
Caitlin Clark?
Caitlin Clark.
So I thought of those two. I thought Verstappen just because of
He was my last year, but I should have because he's won it so many times. He's just, you know what I mean? Not his time. Max, sorry for not bringing you up, but he was on my list. Yeah. I mean, I thought about him for sure, 100%.
I thought of Jason Tatum.
No,
not even at all.
No, did not. No, screw him.
I thought of Connor McDavid.
What's that?
McDavid.
If you had won the Stanley Cup.
Conn Smythe on a losing cause, and like the way he's just been like the year of 2024.
He was my only hockey candidate. Let's put it that way. And I did. If he had won the Stanley Cup, I might have just jumped the queue just to put him in there. And I hope he wins. 1 year I might be able to say that Connor McDavid is my athlete of the year. Mm-hmm. Okay.
And maybe I'm being a bad Canadian for not giving it to Summer McIntosh, but I got to give it to Mahomes.
Really?
Yeah.
Your athlete of the year? Why? For the 2 Super Bowl wins?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm looking at it this way. The reason I gave it to Caitlin Clark is she moved Iowa that far into the national championship, which she can't do this 2 years in a row because she's not playing college anymore. Yep. She took them that far in college, and then what does she do? She goes to the NBA and breaks attendance records and gets her team into the playoffs. So I'm figuring that combined in short period of time, Caitlin Clark's my girl. Patrick Mahomes is a good selection though for back-to-back, and if he wins the Super Bowl this year, he'll be
considered all-time great.
Oh, he'll be threatening Brady. But in any event, if they do happen to win 3 in a row, Patrick Mahomes right now will be my player of the year. And let's see. No, I won't say anything like that. I don't want to jinx the guy or anything. But anyways, that's an interesting list. Now, before we go, I just thought that we showed out really quick. Do you want to have any mad predictions for 2025 before we go?
I think you got some already ready to go.
Didn't I ask you about this?
Yeah, you did.
Okay, so let me just think about this. Oh, you know what my other biggest disappointment was? I forgot to put it because I just seen it here on my list. I couldn't find it. The Live tourney.
Oh.
That was one of my big. That was on my. When I lost my train of thought, I just seen it here. It was written in another part. Mm-hmm. That was one of my biggest things. So, my crazy predictions of the year. North Carolina football team will make the playoffs next year.
Okay.
That's one of them. I'm saying that out of nowhere, because we only have the 4 majors where the Live and the other guys are playing. I'm saying by March this year, there'll be some made-up tournaments that will have finally Live guys playing against PGA guys in the year 2025 outside the majors. Not the majors, outside the majors. I'm saying that. I was saying this time next year, Bo Nix will be an MVP candidate in the NFL.
Wow.
I'm not stuttering. I'm saying Bo Nix will be
I don't hate that.
I'm being an MVP candidate next year. Finally. No, I got one more quick one. Marner or Tavares will not be on the team next year for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
So you're saying Marner?
I ain't saying nothing. I'm just saying Marner or Tavares will not be on the Toronto Maple Leafs. I hope I'm wrong.
You know, you'd be more bold if you named one instead of just taking the cop-out or in there.
God, my mouth hurts on this one. Okay,
we're just having fun here, people.
Okay, I just threw it out there. And my last but not least, the Montreal Canadiens will make the Stanley Cup playoffs next year.
Okay.
That's my crazy predictions.
Okay. So I will say Carlos Alcaraz will not win a Grand Slam in 2025.
Oh, my God. Look what... Oh, my God. I chickened out. That's bold. I had that on... I got it written over here on my other thing scratched because what Alcaraz? No, it's Cruz. Don't be stupid. You're calling it?
Yep.
Okay. I like that call.
The New England Patriots will be back in the playoffs next year.
Huge. I
like to say the same about the Raptors, but...
I said, now I'm going on a limb. I'd be stupid. It's Raptors and Habs. I'd be drug tested.
I will say the Washington Capitals will be in the Final Four of the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Bold. Writing that down. What's on tape?
Yeah, it's here.
It's on tape. Okay.
And what else could I put? I need like a baseball take.
I had a few, but I couldn't think of anything because I didn't get all the free agents where they wanted to go. I wanted to say that the New York Mets would miss the playoffs.
The New York Mets will be in the World Series.
Oh,
there you go.
I was going to say the opposite. I was going to Mets missed the playoffs.
Grimace MVP.
There you go. It's since he's a favorite at the house, we got to give him the time of day. That was fun.
That was. We should also mention, I forgot to mention this with football, we'll just throw it in here. The 15 modern era finalists, excuse me, for the Football Hall of Fame just got announced.
Oh, right. Okay.
Eric Allen, Jared Allen, Willie Anderson, Jari Evans, Antonio Gates, Torrey Holt, Luke Kuechly, Eli Manning, Steve Smith Sr., Terrell Suggs, Fred Taylor, Adam Vinatieri, Reggie Wayne, Darren Woodson, and Marshall Yanda.
And only 5 get, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and they do that by Super Bowl, right? So I'm going to go down the list on our next show. We're going to predict the 5 that get in.
Vinatieri's an interesting one.
Oh, he should one time. You got to let a first ballot Hall of Fame kicker.
And
Come
he would
on.
be the guy.
Yeah, I remember everything changes. Latvia beat Canada in the juniors. Something's got to happen for a first time.
Yep.
Let's do Vinatieri.
Eli Manning probably, I would say.
Oh, I think they're going to make him wait so that he can't say that he's a first ballot.
I don't know, 2 Super Bowl MVPs.
Yeah, okay. I'm not. If he is, okay. Let's hold that conversation for
Luke Kuechly. I think.
No. He's just.
You're going to make him wait.
Yeah. I'm making.
But he gets in.
Over time, he's borderline for me. He was very good for a very short period.
I don't know. He was like the best linebacker there for a few years.
There's a lot of great guys that were great linebacker for a few years. People are doubting if J.J. Watt is a first ballot Hall of Famer.
I think he is.
Oh, for sure. For sure. But, anyways, we'll keep that in mind for the next show.
All these haters. So a little bit shorter than usual. So I guess your earbuds can, your earphones, whatever, your drums can thank us later for that one.
Okay, look, that's good. But we almost did it on our required time from a personal level. Correct?
Almost.
There you go. So we said that we will be disciplined for the year 2025. But let me tell you something oxymoronic. Cruz and discipline.
Okay.
It's just, that's how it goes. Anything else you'd like to bring to the table?
What are you looking forward to this week, sport-wise?
This week?
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to all the games on the college football games.
Anyone in particular? Ohio State, Oregon?
Ohio State, Oregon. And I'm
New
looking forward to Notre Dame and Georgia. I'm looking forward to that. What else is going on here this week?
For me, it's a Canada-USA New Year's Eve.
Oh, that's one of the ones too. And I'm really looking forward to a couple of the football games this weekend to see where the playoffs are going to go. There's some interesting games, like to see who shows up and who doesn't, just from a personal gambling point of view.
Absolutely.
So I will be, as I'm going to be jumping off the TV. No, I can't be watching now. Big guy, you're listening? Yeah, in a bit. Okay?
All right.
That's everybody.
We'd like to wish everyone here a Happy New Year, the best possible 2025. Hope it's better than your 2024. And just all the best health and well wishes to everyone.
Okay, I like to say this, and my loving wife, Gail, says, you use that a lot. And I said, because I think it's an interesting way to look at life. I hope 2025 is the second best year of your life. So in the future, you will have one better.
There we go.
That'll be my cruiseism for the day. And most of all, I want to thank each and every person that takes the time to listen to our show and give us support. We appreciate it immensely, especially the people in the neighborhood, people coming into one of the drinking establishments in the neighborhood that I don't want to promote. So I won't say that. And thanks a lot. You know what I mean? We'll do that. Big shout out to my sisters who've showed mad support for me for a number of things over the weekend. And Maria, I hope you have a great time in St. Lucia. And Chica, where are you?
Chico, where are you,
Chica.
man? Chica,
where is she? Where is she? She's in the city. I'll track her down.
Okay. Right. I think that'll just about do it for us this week. We'll see you in about a week's time. My name is Andrew.
See you next year.
See you next year.
There you go.
My name is Andrew.
Hi, my name is Cruz.
What do we do?
We keep the vibe alive.
You can find The House That Happens on Podbean, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeart Radio, Player FM, Samsung, Podchaser, Boomplay, YouTube, and SoundCloud. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at The House That Happens, and follow us on Twitter at House Happens. You can also shoot us an email at thehousethathappens@gmail.com.